analyst with me who can tell me exactly what went wrong for Astralis and how MIBR was able to mount the comeback.
So we are talking about the comeback from MIBR. That's how we're attacking this. Well, I think they neutralized Blame.
It's about perspective.
I'm happy to start there because I think they
Let's
put up a very valiant effort, right? The man that they could not handle on the CT side, Blamef, was completely shut down in the 3 first gun rounds for Astralis. And that was, I don't know if that was the plan for MIBR, if it was a coincidence that we're finding him. Maybe they were listening to the desk, who knows. But they really completely neutralized Blamef, and then they built on that momentum until he 1v3'd them and broke their hearts.
Yeah, and just looking at some of the details from Blamef's performance, he had 19 kills on the CT side. He switches over to the T side. He only gets 4 more kills after that fact, and 1 knife in hand kill and the 1v3.
And the 1v3, yeah, absolutely. Look, we don't want to look at this too one-dimensionally. No. Of course, it's a whole team game, but you can truly analyze it through the spectrum of Blamef and how much success he was or not finding. On the CT side, we have it right there in front of our eyes. He was doing whatever he wanted. Impossible to control, impossible to tame. MIBR tried very much different ways, and Devil will call it out in the pre-show. He said, you want to go and try to trade him, he will completely mess you up, and he did.
Yeah, and he did that when they were on CT side, but as you say, then they were moving along. And then what I found impressive out of MIBR Devil, and you can tell me if I'm wrong, is the fact that they kind of slowed down their play a little bit, right? They thought about, okay, what is the best way to approach this retake? What are the steps we can take? And we have a lurk ourselves, and that is an evolution. But it wasn't enough because I feel like Astralis then also snuffed that out.
Yeah, but you have to still give both teams a little bit, because T-side overpass is an incredibly tough theoretical map, especially if you want to default towards A. If you want to keep hitting B, it's pretty simple. There's a few options, but you need to be able to default towards A to get any kind of consistent T-side performances. And we didn't really see any of these teams being able to default towards A, because they constantly got picked off by Ops. Shello woke up on the CT side, brought it, yeah. Both teams constantly punished around that toilets area.
If anything, that was a surprise for me when it comes to Astralis and the lack of success that we're having on their T side. I thought that they would definitely have all the protocols needed to take that map control away, exactly what you were talking about. But in fact, they weren't. If we just take a second to realize what kind of rounds they won. There is the 1 versus 3 from Blamef that completely puts MIBR in the dumpsters. There is the triple kill from Config when they have the B side execute. And there is Farlig punishing a double aggression banana. These are the only rounds that Astralis won on their T side. Not building for success, but more relying on individuals shining.
Yeah, I mean, it's not even, I don't even think it was them creating the situations for that to happen either. I feel like it was more given to them and punished well, of course, but still. It's one of those things, you know, that double swing where Farley gets those kills.
That's the round.
On long. I mean, that's just MIBR and getting punished.
Yeah, that's a good point. And on the one hand, you could look at it from the half glass full, like, oh, when they needed it the most, Farley got those kills.
Yes.
When they needed it the most, Config got those kills. I think that's also a way to look at it. But obviously, you're thinking about, all right, who are they going to face on the T sides in these best of threes for making it to the Legends stage? In terms of positives, let's take a look at round 12. Blame F was the focal point of our discussion coming into this, and I guess this is his bread and butter.
Yeah, absolutely. We're going to have Blame F in his antics with a multi-kill. It shows as well MIBR with quite a good execute on the A side. You see they're following each other quite well. Blame F finds a multi-kill. He is traded finally, but I think the core point of that replay that we're showing you guys is the retake. And this is where I fault MIBR just a little bit. They do that open standard plant on the A side, and most of them just back out through longs, which means they completely reduce the angle with which they can approach the retake. We see the Molotov being put down by Astralis towards long, A smoke, and that's it. We're in the green room and we're calling it.
Yes.
That they lost. They lost that situation. Yeah. They did not give themselves enough space to evolve through that clutch, and MIBR, I mean, Astralis just took them straight up.
Yeah, I mean, you said it instantly when you saw the bomb planter backing off towards long. You were like, no, don't do this.
Everyone just closed their angles for some reason when you have to take space in these post-plant situations.
For MIBR, this does mean that they're moving on to a
To succeed in this game, you need to invest in yourself. Be daring. Innovate. Calculate. Never hesitate. Don't follow the crowd. Back yourself. Bank your wealth. Analyze, strategize, and galvanize. Now is the time. Take your shot.
Esports is what we live and breathe. For us, it's more than a game. It's a reality, where a group of letters can mean everything. Where Mirage is a place for bombs, battles, and glory, not an illusion. Where the true heroes are those in front of the screen. GG Bet. This is real.
Today is a very important day because today Zyra is going to be competing for the #1 Counter-Strike map designer in the world. No pressure. Here's your pen.
I have to write my map?
You have to start with your map. Oh, start with the shape of the map. Very, very simple. Anyone can do it. But can they do it well? A small map, rectangular.
Yeah, it's gonna be a small map.
Okay, that's good. I like this. This is Renegade. You're the first person to your bomb sites before your spawns. A. I mean, currently we have a football pitch, but it's fine.
Yeah.
Let's keep going.
A, but where's gonna be bomb side B?
Opposite it, like a football pitch.
You want?
No!
No, it's fine.
Don't take my ideas. It's because you practice in Stade de France.
Yeah. It's
Okay.
like football, yeah.
Same football.
Stade de
Good.
France, we start.
Are you a football fan?
No, but
No.
let's go.
It's fine. It's fine. We're reinventing
Nah.
football and making it
Sometimes
like
watching
Counter-Strike.
Liga.
I like this. Okay. So currently it's an extremely CT-sided map because we don't have a T-side. Okay, so what's this?
I want to,
Oh, it's a
to draw
chicken.
a chicken. Yeah, but
Okay, brilliant. Do the chickens mess up clutches?
Of course.
Of course. Bien sûr.
Yeah.
Of course.
Of course.
Let's do another layer then. Well, you're going to have to show how it connects, but I like this very much.
So
Okay.
they're also gonna start like this.
Okay.
I think like CT. C.
Okay.
That hard.
And now we rest.
like some stairs like here,
Okay.
going up.
Oh, so this is underneath, not
Yeah,
on top.
under,
Oh,
under.
right. Okay. Brilliant.
So A,
So this is kind of our connector situation.
yeah.
Very
they're gonna-
overpass.
We're gonna start like this to come B.
Ooh, okay. Well, at the moment, so this is...
It's really weird.
It's hard.
It's hard map, but it's like new map.
I like that you've got, this one looks more like a graffiti than an actual usable ladder. So we've got a chicken, we've got an unusable ladder, we've got CT spawn, obviously A and B bomb sites, and then we've
But
got
we
like
need-
a top floor, sorry, an underneath for the T spawn.
But I think right here we need to make a tower. Like when city can spawn.
Okay, we like that. So what's the name gonna be?
Tag it.
What's the name gonna be? Can I get some professional opinions, please, on this map? Do you think this could be the future of competitive Counter-Strike?
I think he needs some more corners, some boxes where you can hide.
Of
you
course,
know?
I didn't finish, of course. Let me know
Okay, sorry,
sometimes.
sorry. I'm just giving you some help.
Look,
you know?
there's some tower for up.
Maybe you miss some like connector or something like that, you know, like on Mirage.
Yeah,
you know, that you
I
have
have
to. That's
one,
like a
but-
connector,
yeah.
okay? Maybe some
Very overpass style one.
overpass. Okay, then I'll just keep.
Just keep working, yeah.
It's fine. It's already in their banned map list. Alexi is obviously the big brain of Counter-Strike when it comes to looking at a map, whether he'd play it, what to do on it. What do you think of Zyra's map? This is underneath. This is the top layer with the bomb sites and CT. So obviously CT's favour, but here's where it's clever. There is a ladder from T-spawn to CT spawn. How would you play this map? Would you play it?
I think he has quite a few issues. I can't really picture the map. Did Zivo do this?
Yeah, of
You
course.
made it?
He tried.
I tried, of course.
Yeah, I mean, it looks doable.
If you're saying it's doable, that's high praise indeed coming from Mr. Alexi V.
Yeah,
You've got a
but
future in map design.
I know I'm not like a designer, so.
It wouldn't be fair if you're also really good at drawing, but we do need to come up with a name. So it's set in
I
Brazil,
have to
it's in
start
Rio.
with like D,
Of course.
Ryu. I don't know.
Ryu!
Ryu.
That's good!
Like Ryu.
And then I can't wait for when this is in a major final and
Oh,
everyone calls it D Raiwu instead of D Riwu, and the internet gets incredibly annoyed. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Ziwu.
Welcome back, everyone, to the PGL Major here live from Antwerp as we are about to dive into Vitality Up versus ForZe. One of these two teams will book their tickets to the Legends stage, so I think it's only rightful that we pump up the action and the adrenaline just a little bit because this is the most important match we are going to see on the A stream that we have seen so far, since for ForZe it would be absolutely monumental if they would be able to overcome Vitality, and for Vitality it would be a very welcome sign if they could book a convincing ticket to the Legend stage right here, right now.
Yes, you have to think about the message that it sends to other teams, right? Because for Vitality, it's much more than just making it to the Legend stage. Everyone in the universe is expecting them to make it to the Legend stage. They were built as a team to lift trophies. We are in the Challenger stage. What we need to know is the message they send to other people out there. We are ready. Today they come in, they dispatch a ForZe 2-0, and we move on, and then they start to strike fear in the opponents. I don't think people fear Vitality quite yet, but they could get in that direction today.
No, and it's incredibly important to gain that respect from your opponents because it gives you time, it gives you room to actually play your game. So it's going to be very interesting to see, because ForZe, they are not a team that respects others.
And they are no slouches whatsoever. So let's first kick off with Vitality. Then yesterday they set aside Complexity. It was like Complexity wasn't even there. ZywOo didn't even die. Then they went on to beat Astralis on Mirage. And to be fair, it also looked like a regular day at the office for Vitality. And Mathieu, we talked about Vitality having turned a page. What is written on that page? What do they look like now?
Looks like a way more convincing Vitality that we had seen at the beginning of the year, and for multiple reasons, right? I think the first one we can touch on is quickly the maps, right? When you rebuild a project like that, of course, you're going to take a moment to figure out where are your strengths. Vitality got abused on Mirage time and time again in the first few months of 2022. What did they do? They put the efforts into it. They worked into it. They practiced it. And now they made a statement against Astralis. So now you're up against Vitality. You pick Mirage?
No, definitely. I don't
You
like.
don't?
Definitely
Don't
not. I don't like Mirage first and foremost because I think it's the least tactical.
Based opinion.
But yeah, it's very, very hard when you see ZywOo and Mizuta delivering the way they have been doing so far. It's an incredibly tough nut to crack because what do you do?
I love that you mentioned ZywOo because it's the elephant in the room that we absolutely have to touch on. The man starts playing Counter-Strike, is back-to-back best player in the world. Third year, he finishes second. If you look at 2022 right now, he's not even in the top 10. These are the reality, the cold reality of the numbers. We are expecting more from this man. He has the mental of a genius of Counter-Strike, and he hasn't provided that in the beginning of 2022.
And we're starting to see the glimpses again, right? And
yes.
Devilwalk, from a coach perspective, there's two ways you can go when you are such a top player as ZywOo in this project, where so much is changing, the language is changing, the coaching staff is changing, these new positions need to be found out for the players around you. And you could see that as an opportunity or of a, okay, maybe I don't thrive in this situation. What differentiates a great player like ZywOo in those situations where he can use that situation and level himself up to a better player?
I think, you know, ZywOo, the problem he's had, from what I've been hearing a little bit, I'm not sure this is fully confirmed, but that he is almost too selfless.
Yes.
And that he likes to support other people, give room and to them, instead of taking that space as that star player and really, almost beefing up on the server and being a little bit of a killer instinct. And I think that's what they've been working on, giving him a little bit more space, telling him no. Don't give other space, take it.
Don't give a crap about anyone
Yes.
else. Just take that space. Well, we'll see if we see it in this one. As said, though, ForZe, they are no slouches. In fact, they have been a bit of a revelation. This is a team led by IGL Jerry, who has had so much on his belt already in terms of successes. And this time, again, he takes relatively young and newer players who need a lot of guidance and who are thriving every step of the way under Jerry.
And they are delivering. They are delivering. 3 of the players currently on ForZe are overperforming compared to their last 3 months. Kenzie, Zorte, and Norway with respectively 1.5, 1.4, and 1.35 ratings. These are really high numbers. Norway himself, 25 kills on the CT side on Inferno yesterday. That was absolutely massive. Now, I will say, ForZe have something to say here. They have something to prove because there are people out there, voices in the community saying, hey, you've beaten Renegades, beaten Bad News Eagle. I don't know, these aren't legend stage team. You have to prove that you're here right now and you deserve it. Take on Vitality and you put all the doubts to bed. That's it.
I think that's a great point. If we look at kind of the RMR campaign and then what they've done here, they ended up losing to Heroic, losing to Navi in that tiebreaker. They did beat OG, which I think at that point in time, people would still have counted to them being in an underdog versus them. You're giving me a look right now.
Giving you the
we're
look.
not here to shit on OG. Okay, that's not what we're here for. In any case, so for ForZe, you're right. This is about an insane chance for you to make it to the legend stage, but also an extremely difficult one. Devilwalk, with what you've seen out of Jerry's leadership, as well as a lot of players on that team overperforming, how do they activate that in order to beat a very aggressive Vitality as we saw yesterday?
I mean, I think you have to always think about the perspective. ForZe really doesn't have anything to lose in this game. They don't have any pressure mounting on their shoulders. If they win this, that would be glorious.
Yes.
But if they lose, it doesn't really matter. So just bring it. Bring the heat. Go all in. Have no respect and just go with it.
Yeah, I think it's a very good atmosphere to have for the rookies to shine, because usually the pundits, we talk about the pressure, we talk about crumbling under maybe a 2-2 matchup on the 5th day, which is horrible to play against. That's not the situation they're in right now.
No.
If you're Norway, if you're Kenzie, if you're Zorda, just have a good time. It's 2-0.
People can hear it at home already, how much they are shouting. The other teams in Apex, he can get hyped. Jerry, he can get hyped as well. So let's see what we're going to get. It's a best of 3, of course, changing it a little bit comparatively to what we've seen earlier in the day with the best of 1.
Yes, and now we get a little bit technical here because, oh my lord, I thought Vitality would pick Inferno and I thought ForZe would consider Nuke. So we have a huge switch.
Inferno third. Let's see if it happens.
I mean, we could have Inferno as a 3rd map, but I am already a little bit surprised. Inferno is removed by ForZe. Now, that's a respect towards Vitality because we know how strong Vitality can be. What I don't understand is ForZe not even picking Overpass. Overpass was right for the taking. Vitality have not had good results on it.
I'm not sure I like this veto.
Okay,
or
who do you think is favored? Who do you think is favored from that?
I think Vitality, actually, by far. I think Nuke, it's too of a risky map to play that high-pressure Counter-Strike. The no respect doesn't really work in the same way in that map.
Fair enough.
Unless you go a little bit no respect on CT side, but that's still a risk.
I do wonder to what extent that's a curveball that Apex is throwing towards Jerry. I was trying to build the theory craft behind the maps, and I thought, okay, maybe Vitality go for an Inferno. They've already established how strong they are on it, and they throw Nuke, which is a map ForZe will play. So I don't know. It might be just a curveball that Jerry didn't see coming. We'll see.
But Vitality was also still, in general, working on their map pool,
Sure.
right? And not sure where the inflection points lay. So if they are successful on this is creating a whole ripple effect for the rest of their campaign.
And this is why we see Mirage coming in as a 3rd map as well. That's the consequence of the work they've been putting in. It gives them more leeway in the veto system. Now that they can actually back their aim on that Mirage, they can remove other maps. That's great for them. And obviously, if they're going to have a deeper map than Major, it goes through a deep map pool. You cannot only play 2 or 3 maps.
No, absolutely. If you want to win the Major, you probably need to play at least 6. But a 7th gives you a lot of room. If you play all maps, you can basically dictate the veto into giving you 2 maps that you are favored on, and then 1.
Depending on how good you play those maps, of course.
But I think that's a little bit how it is.
I'm still yet to see teams that play 7 maps really, really well.
There are
when we
very,
miss
very
it,
few.
We'll see.
just tag
Very
me
few.
and I'll
We'll see,
check it out.
indeed. Thank you so much for this. I think that was a wonderful setup for this match. ForZe is really up against it, but who knows? But they will have to dispose of Vitality if they want to make it to the Legend stage today. Let's head over to our casters.
Thank you very much. Yeah, this is a really exciting game. I'm so hyped for this, right? Because before the dinosaurs, before the dawn of man, before the start of time, all of that, before there was even a universe, there was Jerry and ForZe, right? And with this team, I don't know. I'm convinced you could give him 4 scarecrows in ForZe jerseys, and he would find a way to at least make them competitive, right? What he's been able to do across multiple iterations of the ForZe squad is always create a competitive team, but it was with this mixture of like young players, guys coming in to replace some pretty notable names. You think about the likes of like Flit, Z-Power was in this team at one point, who was a terrifying AWP presence, but all getting traded out, all getting moved around, these young guns moving in, and Jerry is now in a spot where he's 2-0 up with a chance to make it to the Legend stage at the Major. It's a very cool storyline for ForZe. And we're getting into Nuke right away. No time to wait around here. Vitality with a T-side start. Maniac was surprised that this one came through. Let's see if there's reason for that.
I have so many things to say, but all of them will have to hold, Harry. We've got a pistol round right ahead of us as we get into a ramp rush. It's a bit of util in the top site, but the double ramp setup is there. Norvi gets the bomb out in the open, and that allows ForZe to flood in. Everyone playing this position, but Shalfei outside. And, I don't know how Vitality, are going to get back into this position and get the bomb. Norvi's still tucked. Jerry's playing with his food. Zorti's been dinked. But still, Vitality can't get their foot in the door. Magis does manage to finish off one kill, but the smoke has landed, and it's not a great one, I'll admit that. Apex is still forcing fights. Jerry out in the open, fighting for his life and for the round, and he might just take it all down. Him and Norvi, another kill apiece, and Dupree in a 1v3, looking done, looking dusted. It's ForZe with a pistol.
But yeah, good start for ForZe, man. And I will say, you can't underestimate that guy in the middle right there on Nuke. We've had some naughty moments out of him. I think it was back in 2020. He got this incredible Glock clutch as well, if I do remember rightly. I want to say it was an ace, but maybe it was 4. He's very, very proficient here, both as an individual and as a leader. Let's look on the other side of things, though, Hugo, because I imagine you have something you want to say about Vitality.
I don't think they need much introduction.
No, right? That's kind of the thing, right?
Of course, I just almost called this team Astralis, mainly because we just covered Astralis, but also because there's still some familiar Danish faces. We even saw Apex yesterday. He was screaming at Astralis in Danish. It's good that the boys taught him some useful words.
I actually saw them in the cafeteria here.
Oh, okay.
And
did Apex have French to Danish translation?
They were teaching Dupree how to say certain. Well, actually, he just said it on his own volition in French, and then they kind of just like neatened it up a bit, made it a bit prettier.
Nice.
So yeah, you do have that kind of.
That's cool.
They're all learning from each other, all learning a language.
No, this roster needs no introduction, right? Super cool to see them actually performing after a bit of a shaky, few months since their formation. Players and other people saying, like we always say, these rosters need time, and that for some teams it can be a caveat. You give them time, nothing happens. I think for a team like this, it was a matter of when, not if, that they were going to be performing at a tier 1 level, and no better place to perform than the Major. Look, I love the ForZe 3-0. I think that's a great story. I think this would be awesome for them to prove themselves against a tier 1 team after getting fairly easy draws so far. I even have them as my 3-0 and my pick'em. I'll be objective there. I'm a Jerry fan, but at the same time, it would be great to see Vitality just storm through this stage and look like the team that we expect them to be.
I like that you use that little pick'em tie-in as like a thinly veiled attempt of showing your transparency and impartiality, but really it was just a little flex for everyone, which was quite nice.
Hey, I haven't won yet. For 1-0, it's done. It's done.
For Vitality, dude, something I think that's kind of helped them along the way was they came out early on. They said there's going to be a lot to work on here. There's going to be a lot of stylistic clashes. We're all having a common, a different language. Like it is a very big uphill battle. And they said from the offset, it's going to take time before the results are there. And I think their transparency, especially from guys like Apex and interviews that have followed, has shed a lot of light on some of the internal kind of things that are going on with meshing together the Danish style of Counter-Strike with the French style. So I think that's kind of helped people give them a little more leeway, even though all of us just expected, you're putting Magis Dupree alongside Zaiwu, and Apex as an IGL, Masuta is this talented, I don't even feel fair to call him a young gun anymore with how long he's been here, but you know what I'm saying. Okay, Zorty's going to just nail Apex up on top of Silo. And, this is just an anti-eco round, so it's meant to be clean.
For that, I just want to go back to that 3-0, ForZe pick, because I may as well flex while I've got it before they've lost. Not that they ever would. Give a little shout out to Hawker, of course, who managed to sell me ForZe coin in going for that 3-0 pick. So if he's watching, I'm sure he is, supporting Jerry and the boys. Shout out Hawker one time. But one thing that we can expect from ForZe in this CT side is Zorty, and I'm going to say this, you're going to be shocked, on an auto sniper, on a Scar 20.
Yes,
I hope he
does like that.
In 2022, it is his second most used weapon on this map, on the CT side. Second to the AWP, of course. The Scout's coming in as well. He gets more auto kills than he does AK on this map, which is pretty ridiculous. But not only is it good for, shooting through walls, shooting through smokes at ramp, at outside, coming up through heaven. We've seen him decimate a lot of teams with this gun. So, whether he'll use it against Vitality, we'll have to see. It's something they'll surely be aware of.
Even for spamming the wall in Trophy, it's just ludicrously good at that. One bullet sailing through can do 40 damage to someone in lobby, and it just makes life easier down the line. Yeah, it's pretty cool. It's pretty interesting. You don't really see a lot of auto sniper usage, and the fact that this team has a map where it is a token feature of their CT side is pretty interesting. We're going to have this scout outside now, and AK's in play for Vitality. Looking like they want to try and hit ramp, even though Kenzie's here, as he swings with the molly to go for that info play. ZywOo's going to find him.
Spams won't do as much with the scout. They'll make it down B. Bonus round. ForZe can, try and throw themselves into this one, but nice grouping for Vitality. They just pummel the doorway with just lurking late outside, catches Shelfie on a rotate, even picking Zorty out of CT spawn as well. Majiski's on a tear, and it's 3 kills to close the round for Vitality. No rotates allowed to that B-bomb site, and very decisive. They get the ramp pick. I mean, obviously a ramp player's not hoping to not fall that quickly, right? You want to at least get your util out or go 1-for-1, or just drop down into B in a 5-on-5 and play that lower site. ForZe, very experienced Nuke team, are going to have good rotations in place, but Kenzie gets caught jiggling, and Vitality know they have a gap there. They just explode. So into another rifle round. We have the AWP now for Zorty. Smokes outside just to fake that they're crossing secret. They're not. That's not the case, but Vitality are about to realize that and clear it themselves. They use the smoke to their advantage. They make it all the way down with multiple players. AWP is ready for it though, and Zorty looking for 2. He'll do in Masuta. ZywOo doesn't want to try. Dupree's walked down A. There's a bit of a gap here. Hut roof player watching Mini. Oh my god, turning around just in time is Norvi. Saving this one from getting weird, even though Vitality have hell wrap control. ForZe are aware.
Yeah, you might have denied the lower play. And I mean, now, the options start to be pretty limited for Vitality. Shelfie's here, should be good for 1, and there it is. Even makes it the double. ZywOo attempts the trade and meets his maker on the other end of that FAMAS. So ForZe up 3-1. They immediately reply. Now, there is still money for Vitality to give it another go here. They're repelled from outside. Zorty's hitting the ground running to open this one up. That's a real treat. When he first came in, it was kind of surprising because you had Z-Power in this squad that we spoke about earlier, right? Z-Power was a terrifying CT AWPer, and it's weird to put it like that, but T-sides he would fall off. Still, it felt like with how good he was on CT sides, it was reason enough to keep him around. Decision was made, however, to bring in Zorty, and we thought he had big boots to fill, but it does just look like a flat upgrade since that happened.
That is the craziest part, right? I love how you introed this game where you talked about how ForZe could, Jerry could make any team look incredible. Oh, wait, let me hold this point. Dupree's been mollied out. He's got a smoke here. Thank goodness he does, staying alive. Door push does come through. ZywOo's seen it. Jerry sidelined in the squeaky. Zorty fires off the AWP. They know it's near. And they won't repeat that door side. 5-on-4. Kenzie close ramp. Flash setup ready. These T's are not far from the lobby. If they hear that flash, they should know what that means. And it's not like he's being quiet about it. Fast steps inside of Trophy. Smokes outside now for Vitality. Wide wants to try and cross down towards Secret. Over the top, though. Zorty's hungry. He saw him.
He really wants that fight, man, but Apex just going to dodge it, knows that AWP is lusting for the equalizer outside, and so Vitality, they might have thrown these smokes in, but only one man is looking to use them. They have faded. As Magis was walking across, luckily enough, no one was there to punish that.
This is the one gap, but the AWP is still here.
Shuffle man donning it low on health, but he's dead. Kenzie holds the line with a double. Maybe that entices ForZe to give this round a go. Zorti and Norvi a long way away from this B bomb site, having to rotate in and take ramp away. A lot of it's going to be hinging on this fight between Apex and Zorti on the ramp side. He moves in. Apex with the swing is giving that one over, and suddenly ForZe have given a reason to want to attempt this one. Zorti might be low. And so Norvi's going to face the bulk of the pressure. Door swings, he wins that fight. ZywOo on the receiving end. Now Magisk, he snuck down with the smokes outside, waiting at the double doors. It was set up for him to win the round if needed, and it is needed. He needs to step up. They've tapped the bomb. They know where he is now, and this time Norvi's sticking it. He's looking for a fight, but Zorti's going to catch him through the smoke. And so it's ForZe winning that one out in the 2-on-3. They pull up, and they put a 4th round on the board.
This team is really here to play today, aren't they? They are ready to shout down everyone who, you know, just put them down to the games they were playing. BNE, Renegades, certainly not favorites in that matchup, but ForZe coming up against the big dogs and putting up one hell of a show. Couldn't see Magisk shooting off of the tracers that Magisk fires, and that bomb was perfect for him as well. But what a clutch, what a turnaround for ForZe, and what was a 2v4 coming, oh sorry, 2v5. 3v5 I'm getting at. Kenzie on the ramp doubling up and a 2v3 retake. So really nice round out of ForZe. Not one they were supposed to win, especially after Zorti loses his AWP to Shelfie. So right now, ForZe remaining competitive. You know, I think the veto gives them a lot of favors as well. I don't think Vitality won the veto today.
Yeah, right.
You know, they've picked into not ForZe's best map, but one that they are more than comfortable playing, one that they have more than enough experience on. And Dust2 and Mirage CIS team's going to be no complaints. However, we've definitely seen Vitality, you know, try and make Mirage a staple of their map pool. If it gets to 3, I'd say they're more than favored. But right now, ForZe putting up a fight. Shelfie being loud underneath. Kenzie firing smokes, trying to stop them getting B, but they just about make it. 1 health on Magisk. He might want to give that gun over, but he's with ZywOo unarmored, so it's not exactly a great trade if he does.
Yeah, but would you rather aim punch or just instant death? I mean, those are your options, right?
Oh,
there it is. Oh,
few.
Luckily enough,
in the corner.
He's just tucked himself in, and the nade clips behind the box there, or cylinder, not a box. Just now throwing up and over. Goes to clear the stairs, but Shelfie finds himself in the vents instead. It's a quick reposition. Nades kind of sold them on the false idea he's on the staircase. They look like they wanted to maybe boost again here with this AK. So ZywOo crouching down, and that is the goal. However, Magisk, low as mentioned, is now dead. We pre-found over on the ramp side. The Danes are removed from play, and the Frenchman will follow. It's only ZywOo left standing.
Opens the door, but they have the bomb. They're not fooled. They're not falling for it. Jerry goes back and cleans him up, and ForZe go 5-1. Very good start to the CT side. We haven't even had to see the auto sniper, but I hope we do. I just hope we do. I want to see how Vitality respond when it's in play. A-rushes could certainly be the answer. Do Vitality have set pieces out of spawn for this top site though right now, right? They've picked this map. They know they were coming into the T side. They better have something sick prepared, because right now these slow defaulting outside rounds aren't working, and ramp seems to be constantly set up with 2 players for ForZe. That leaves 1 gap. Vitality though, back to lobby. Bit of defaulting outside. Apex dead on silo again, and just escaping from Zorti's AWP. He's quick, but not quick enough. However, again, this is the Zorti show all over. He fires a shot, he immediately changes his position. He's always so hard to guess. Back to ramp already with 3 CTs here. Someone needs to move. That's just simply too many. So Vitality kind of pulled off in the lobby with not a lot to do. Might just bung out the A site.
Yeah, I mean, dude, ForZe in moments like this get really annoying to play against. They get super mobile at times, right? Like, even now you're kind of seeing it. Like, Kenzie's constantly shifting his position around the map. Shalfie as well has now just decided to hold this angle over towards Hell to lend a bit of a helping hand outside if needed, and it will be needed. So in the right place at the right time. But it just feels like, you know, Apex and Dupree have both died. What have you got out of it? Nothing. All the info is now null and void. You don't know where these players are. Haven't gained much. Jerry will get mollied out. Swings with it, sits in it. And Masuta finds him. Now there's a double up in the back of the site. If one of these players swings early, maybe a bit of a bait and switch could be employed. Right now, they're hoping that Magisk can be their saving grace. The man to make it all happen, up into heaven. Oh, Zorti is going to check for him, and Magisk is now gone. They waited for the heaven wrap. They thought he could be the angel to dispel the sins of this round, but that's not the case. ZywOo, tap on the bomb, 10 seconds, and he's spammed out. Lovely check for Zorti. Wow. The awareness to swing it wide like that, just in case Magisk had hit the timing. It wins the round. It saves the day. If that heaven wrap comes through unchecked and he hits that timing, Vitality win the round. There's very little that ForZe would have been able to do.
Yeah, great awareness. And it all comes off of that kill onto Jerry, right? Just gives full info. At that point, ForZe know it's an ace split. They're wondering where the outside player's gotten to. They saw the smokes go out earlier. It was meant to be main, but Magic got so much room. He just took the chance, and it should have been a good chance, but great check for Zorti. Again, wide smokes. They go quickly with them. ForZe are trying to stop this. They throw a lot of onus on fighting this one. Flash to go through. It's beautiful for Shalfie. Can he do it? Yes, 3. Oh, and he's almost on for the ace. Apex shuts him down from above, but that is one way to get rid of the outside cross. No respect for ForZe through the smoke, and Norvi will close in the same fashion. They are pumping full of confidence, full of adrenaline, full of Jerry.
Mate, yeah, no, this is so clean, isn't it? And they play like they have the confidence and like the establishment of a top team. Like they've just always been here. Like, oh yeah, ForZe were always destined to 3-0 in the
That's the best part about bringing young guns in their first major in a 2-0 game. There's no pressure. They're meant to lose this. It's Vitality. You got major winners. You got some of the best players to ever grace this game. You got the best coach of all time in Counter-Strike. You're meant to lose this game. No one expects you to win it. So pressure's off. Play free. Play crazy. Yeah. Don't respect their setups. Don't respect their smokes. And ForZe are doing everything they can right now to just keep Vitality down.
Yeah, something else I'll say about Jerry is in terms of like fundamentals, in terms of looking at like the micro and macro of Counter-Strike, you know, thesis, I guess, or something like that, some words to that effect. He's just so knowledgeable, and anytime you try to run some sort of set strat, he's going to have a couple of ways to try and counter it, right? So Vitality, you know, you're kind of tempted into just looking for these opening fights, but dude, like, look at this. So he's pushed all the way through ramp, all the way into the lobby, and he's now holding. And Vitality, they've like pretty much given this up. They don't have anyone here. So as they try to go back in to even get set up to take what is normally free real estate, they're dead. And that's the bomb tumbling out from ZywOo.
They wanted to hit A. They can't do that now. Jerry's coming to them though. He does feed the default. Ooh, Warbang's very close. Watch out. There's 2 players in here. Zorti, even if he dies or runs away, it's a perfect fake sold for Kenzie. But he has the bomb. He's going to give it a go. Try and hold on to it. There it is. Smoke. Okay. Really selling Kenzie's position now. Vitality smoke it off. They don't like what they see on the other side. Kenzie waiting around. Does he want to go through? That would be ballsy. That would be mental. And so he will not. Vitality go back on roof. They want this A hit, right? It was what they wanted from the get-go. Checking their backs, getting the bomb. Kenzie firing off. They will walk late ramp. He's got a 3rd smoke coming through. They're going to disrespect it themselves. Right, they run. Kenzie gets 1, but it's a trade for Dupree. If he commits, he might get caught before he drops. Shalfie's here. Dupree spots him. He does live to tell the tale. A path to B opened up. Vitality take it.
So he's already down here. Gonna have a timing to take 1 shot out of decon, but he can't make it count. Closes the door, hoping he can do it again. Dupree crossing into the site. It's a double doors plant, so they need to try and take that control. Vitality fighting for real estate down here at B, and they do manage to get the control room under lock and key. Apex dead on the swing. Zorti's convincing with this all. And in with a double now. Dupree and Magisk gets the 2 Danes left up in this one. Bomb's ticking away. They're trying to play a timing game. Dupree's wrapping, and they were holding for this, but they've just let go of the angle. Dupree could be in pole position. Magisk is drawing attention away. It's only making Dupree more dangerous, and there he is with the backstab, doubling down. The Danes get it over the line.
Yeah, that's what you want. Clutch potential for Magisk and Dupree. Perfect patience for Magician to just hold off. He takes one shot, he disappears into the mist, and they're so attentive to his position. They never even try to work out where that last man was. Very nice try for ForZe, keeping it competitive the entire round, but it's the clutcher, it's the backstab to get it done. 7-2. Vitality trying to warm in off of that one round. Dumping Util and A. Zorti's back to his red cross, back on his BS, but not today. ZywOo expects it. Even on top of the garage, Apex, he's died enough on Silo. He was ready for top garage for Shalfie, who will fall off and live. Coming up secret is Kenzie, swapping with Jerry down lower, but right now ZywOo's a dead man. Peek and a kill, easy as that. Flash doesn't even work, doesn't need to. Vitality have found the gap at ramp though, again.
Yeah, you know, we talk about the mobility of ForZe. Well, this does kind of come with a few drawbacks, right? Occasionally there might be gaps like this, especially when you lose a man early. And so as Kenzie goes back into the ramp room, he's going to have missed this timing on the Hell players. They just about evade him. And he's not considering it at all. Shalfie's going to get shot in the side of the head by Masuta, and Dupree now emerges out of the heavens. They had no idea. It's a 2-on-4 turn, 2-on-3, thanks to Kenzie's A1S.
You can't drop this if you're Vitality. You have to win it. Your positions are better. You have the A side, but sneaking in through main is Jerry. It's suddenly a 2-on-2. Low players. Dupree's out on an island. Jerry wins that fight. Somehow, Dupree knew he was coming, and Apex can go down the vent. It might be the only way to catch him off guard. It's silent. They haven't heard it. They will be able to group up on the ramp for the retake, but Apex full nades and full timing to get this stick in. Open if he wants it. Doesn't take that risk. Jerry's going to run back towards the ramp side. Bomb is down. Util is thrown, and position is known.
It's got to be vintage from Apex, man. It's all on him. All eyes are on the man at the helm of Vitality, trying to win this 1v2. Bomb is not planted for him, and with a player out decon, that's going to be rough. Kenzie's got a kit, and so as they move in, they're looking at the bomb. They're trying to piece this together. They're saying, he's not decon. Where could he be? And Jerry just runs at him. W held. And the kill is found. ForZe deny the clutch attempt.
2v4. 2v4, and Vitality have Heaven and A site. They got so paranoid there was another anchor, right? Dupree comes up on Heaven as Shalfie dies outside. Norway gets hit from Heaven when he's looking hot on the rafters. It was that awkward timing. Kenzie misses, but boy, he makes up for it. Him and Jerry clutch out a round against Vitality again, and ForZe bite back. The B conversion last time immediately denied, and ForZe even call a tactical timeout trying to figure out that gap. I'm sure they know. I mean, Kenzie was late down B with Jerry for a moment, and that's when Vitality hit that beautiful timing out ramp. But dear oh dear, they're getting their work cut out for them right now on Nuke. Zorti's still keeping it very standard with the AWP, but he's made a couple of red crosses. He's finally been punished by ZywOo, who's not really had many AWPs. Another buy for Vitality. What have they figured out in the timeout that ForZe called? Quick Hell Smoke. Another outtake, it seems.
Oh, dude, there were so many chances on that timing shot, but outside Smoke's a big old gap there, and Shalfie's going to be good to double up from it. ZywOo goes fighting ahead through the gap on the outside Smokes, and he does succeed with a second. Norvi on the receiving end of that one. Bomb's now crossed its way into Garage, but is that a blessing or a curse? Right now, ZywOo's stuck on a bit of an island, and they don't really have the util to bail him out. They're kind of relying on ForZe easing off of this outside aggro. Luckily enough, he's been given the space to get out of Garage. Zorti going aggressive into the lobby. Dupree is here, waiting patiently. This is a very good response. You know that ForZe like to take space. They've gone silent out, so they're going to be pushing somewhere. And Dupree walks to his death. Now just ZywOo and Apex. Who are the vintage Vitality names?
Oh yeah, walk that smoke. Gap. No way! Zorti again shoots smokes and finds players. You can't spam your tracers. He sees every single bullet. ZywOo 1v3. Kenzie's on an off angle, but still ZywOo eviscerates him. Down to the B-bomb site. They're going to have a quick vent drop. They know it's coming. He's not being quiet about it. Plant is not allowed. He has to fake it. Zorti will swing that door. There's the tap. Zorti very close. Doesn't fall for it, but there's the no-scope to close the round. It's the AWP to take down ZywOo. 3 kills from Zorti, and they keep it up. I want to talk really quickly about those smokes. Those are not bungled smokes from outside from Vitality. They've left that gap before. They keep doing it to cross towards Secret, but ForZe saw it last time, right? You saw the smoke and health Vitality. That's like the replacement to doing that third smoke at red. It allows Vitality, if they don't want to go Secret, they can cross outside. They can go towards Garage. They can split main. But ForZe knew it was coming from the smokes towards Hell, so they play on top of the AC unit and have a perfect angle to catch those kills on the cross.
And now look at Shalfie taking liberties. All right. 2 of them here, and finally,
okay.
Well, I say fine. You know, second time around now, this little cross has been punished. Dupree also going to open up over at ramp. ForZe, they tried to give a bit of aggro the way of Vitality here, but they've come up wanting.
No.
Norvi continuing his path of aggro outside has at least reclaimed one of these kills. It might be a 4-on-3, but what a man advantage is meant to Vitality. Not a hell of a lot in this game so far. It's not over till it's over versus this ForZe squad. Zorti now back outside, very confident in the approach, knife out the whole way. Starts to focus his attention in on the door. Only he'd given outside a little look in, could have got this info. Jerry still in main, but with his back turned. They're going to get down Secret for free.
Vitality,
no one's seen this.
Vitality keep doing this.
That's
the bomb. Oh, it's just on the outside. It's on the lip. Do they know that Masuta already made it? There's more than one man here. Jerry goes back to wait for a late lurk. There's not the case. ZywOo, he wanted to fight, but they've just got the free bomb. They'll take it.
Yeah, but
back
look at the double lower drop.
Norway, who's re-aggressive. Might catch them by surprise. He's dead, but they're not ready for Zorti. I can assure you of that one. Quick shot, 20 seconds. ZywOo's being flanked. He hits a pre-fire, but here's the man behind Jerry, the man at the helm of ForZe. Can't stop this plant. Dupree's down ramp, here to cover.
Hopes the spam can find it, but it can't. ZywOo is safe. Oh! Jerry's been seen. Dupree hunting him down. Jerry flicking back and forth, and Dupree will be the man to seal the deal. Him and ZywOo get that one over the line. Dude, there was like a millisecond window where Jerry's coming in on that flank, and he could have dropped the bomb. Misses that timing by a second, and they're able to find the round. That's how it all starts as well. One chance Deeg shot.
You take it.
All that it takes.
Nice pre-fire as well into the orb from ZywOo. Like, if he doesn't win that fight there, the round's over. Either to Zorti or the flank, like you say. Vitality done that a couple of times. It's working really well, right? Because of ForZe's very mobile CT side, if Vitality peel back from outside and then they recommit, ForZe are never ready for it. Quick A push, but then a 4-man stack here. The Deagles can do it. You never know. Pistols bite back for a moment, but Masuta returns us from the madness and makes this 3-on-1. Kenzie runs the molly, and they're nowhere to be seen. Right below him are 2, and they close with 4. Vitality, they can still get a 6-round half. That's something to be happy with, given how this game started, and they're starting to find the gaps in the armor for ForZe. The room outside, finally an A-rush, we're waiting all half. They won't do that again on a gun round, but nice to see them test that top site. And Masuta, he's been a guy who we've, relied on for Vitality in these recent games in the RMR, in the Major as well. Like, when he pops off, Vitality have a way easier time of things. Yesterday against Astralis, for example. So hopefully he can warm back in with that little double kill on A. It's another eco for ForZe, and so Vitality have all the room in the world.
Main and Hell smoke, so looking to maybe make this Heaven Cross happen. They're taking real estate outside, ready to main split at the drop of a hat. This is borderline overkill up against these pistols, but they're just doing everything they can to safeguard the round. Shouldn't ever get out of hand, and so it won't. ZywOo pretty much solidifying that with his double, and it is just Shalfie left standing. He's been back in CT the whole damn time until Apex sprays him there. So it's Vitality with a 5th. In with that chance of a 6-9 half, as you say.
This is the fear that they're going to wake up, they're going to warm into this game, and the ForZe maybe get ahead of themselves and think, guys, we're wrecking them, they're bad. We've got it. No, right? Like,
Vitality. Yeah. I mean, I do still think as well, though, like half the rounds they have right now have come on the back of like weak money, essentially, for the ForZe squad, right? Breaking apart the Force Buy and the A play, besting the USPs there. That's like 2 little freebie rounds on the 5 that they've got.
Yeah.
So, you know, it's still not out of the woods just yet for Vitality. Definitely a vibe that there's still a chance for ForZe to just get back on in control of this, you know, reassert dominance again.
You keep telling yourself, right? Regardless of how you paint it, it's still a very nice CT site for ForZe in this first map. A BO3, remember, to qualify for that Legend stage. To meet some of the teams that have already made it that far just through the RMRs. Fast flashes outside. They're going to try and cross. Shalfie gets behind Garage, and so he can stop a main split, but they smoke him off immediately. Apex runs a Molotov. That gets heard from the A site, but they're going all the way through. Full send through Garage. Apex, he's almost checking it. He flicks back. If Shalfie peeked earlier, he would have seen Apex emerging through the smoke. Spam from main puts him low, and don't shoot through smokes. You've already seen what happens when you do that, Vitality. 4-on-4. But Vitality make it lower, and again, Dupree on the ramp plug. This is what has been winning rounds.
This was the winning recipe to win their D ground, right? Dupree out ramp, the rest of the gang heading lower. And Dupree's in such a strong position here, right? Only has 1 chance at a kill. I'd like to think it's as good as done. It's a dink either way, and the AK wins those. Now ForZe a man down. They've lost lower. They've got no information. They don't have ramp. Everyone's having a group and come through secret together.
It's a good flank timing, but Zywo's gone back and they're running amok as well. Smoke puts them in 1 corridor only. They run Econ. Magisk is there. Line up for 3. All headshots for Magisk. And there it is. Right at the end of the half, we have Vitality's resurgence with 6. It's not perfect, but it will do. It is the bare minimum here on Nuke right now. That being said, it's still a fantastic game out of ForZe at the moment. Zorti's AWP is popping off. Jerry's having rounds. Lots of 3v5s, 2v4s have come through already in this game for ForZe. Jerry, of course, we're hyping him up a lot. This is the guy at the helm. This is the in-game leader for ForZe. He's going to have to cook up some nice T-side rounds now to try and keep this streak going and steal Vitality's map pick.
Had something there for Vitality as well, just like kind of residual leaking through.
Yeah.
Bit of a motivational speech heading into that second half by the sound of things. They said, we might make mistakes, but we keep on going.
Yeah.
And they've been able to write their course thus far, right? Might have been this really slow start, but now they've got something to build upon. This is now we kind of flip it back the other way. We say for Jerry, this is like a real test, right? You got to try and outcall Vitality, who are building back in. Over a ramp, Magisk with the dualies. 3 right now, but why stop there? He goes for more and will get churned up still. It's a 1v5 turned 1v4 clutch, and it's going nowhere fast. Vitality going to win that pistol, and they owe it all to a pair of dual Berettas.
Yeah, usually the hut roof, right? Close ramp, what a read, what a setup, and Magisk just mauls them. You see Norway running in backwards. He's trying to make his head hard to hit, going full S-tag, jumping around corners, but Magisk just finds it, farms it, and puts up a pistol for Vitality. Now this gap is closing very quickly. There's only an eco here for ForZe, so should certainly be an 8th. Quick out the door, get it done, get it run over. Did the bomb make it? Yes, down the vent. But Misuta's here to stop that plant, and he won't allow it, not on his watch. Kenzie trying to walk out hut. It's not happening. There's always one. 8 rounds to Vitality, and here's the buy for ForZe.
Outside smokes from the get-go. Are they going to set the precedent of crossing with them? I hope so, and that will be the case, right? They send bodies outside. Always like it where from the get-go you show the usage of these outside smokes, right? To try and make them paranoid. Oh, Zywu, last bullet in the gun! And Norvi just catches it. Jerry's dead as well, trying to cross, trying to go deep. And so they do get players down behind the smokes, but at what cost? 2 dead outside, 1 man at ramp. Shelfie is going to catch Apex as he pulls nades. Now there's 1 more man down in this B bomb site. It's Masuta. This guy can be like a bit of a turret at times. It's not a nice role. No one wants to be here, but he's got to make the best out of this situation. Backed into a corner. He's checked by Shelfie, who comes out from ramp, the victor, with 2 kills to his name, evening the playing field in this one and leaving us in a 3-on-3 as that bomb goes down.
Oh, he didn't jump to spot, but he would have seen 2 players coming in secret side. Dupree has good time on the ramp, but they double face the door and they delete them both. Dupree, I don't know where he was going. He went for the gun in hell. He had an MP9, and so that's just put him completely out of position. Couldn't help his team down on B in time. They get wrecked, and it's going to be ForZe converting this 10th round. Dupree can get an AK, but that's going to be it. That's going to be 10. And this is quite the battle already emerging in the T side as well. They don't wait long to get on the board. Sadly, didn't get to see that auto sniper, but I'm glad that Zorti is putting up quite a fight on the AWP, and he hasn't even brought in the T side AWP yet. ZywOo had it, I think, once, and he got 1 pick on Zorti pushing up outside, and that was it. Money was never really there for Vitality, and when it was towards the end, they just had some nice top splits and secret takes. Didn't really need that big green.
All right, Apex. All right, this is one way to get the info as to what's happening outside with the smokes down. Tries to play ahead of it, tries to play aggressive. They invite him to the party. He's going to piece on out of there. Outside smokes now lobbed over. Flashes to try and get them by. They've crossed with 3 down towards Secret. Norvi admittedly just a collection of limbs at this point, but in he comes. Magisk gets the spot. The players are down. They're moving in. Masuta is here. Deal with the bomb and doubles up. Can't quite make it a third, and in the blink of an eye, this round's flipped on ahead. Oh dear. ZywOo and Apex, they're both at ramp. They're both in the right place at least, but now they've both been spotted. Rapping. Hello. Apex is going quick. Zorti, or Kenzie isn't ready for it rather. And now Jerry trying to trade this will get the better of his IGL counterpart on the other side, and it's all left onto ZywOo, who tries to remain 1 step ahead.
Oh, it's a read. He's already walking up. If only he ran it. He still has good timing. The expected rotation would be heaven. That's what they're looking at. That's what they're thinking about. But he's gone lobby instead. Shelfie checked out the door, but not anymore. ZywOo still has timing. Jerry's gone back. Oh dear, reads on reads, and Jerry's been cornered. Oh, he's stuck, he can't go anywhere. ZywOo wins the fight, and he has enough nades to get weird, but Shelfie swings in, and even though ZywOo waits patiently, he will be picked apart. It's another round for ForZe. It's a 3-on-5 into that A site. I love that hunt from Apex. They just keep throwing bodies at ForZe, but somehow, in an instant, 3 kills came in.
Dude, yeah, that is wild. Like, that just shouldn't... I don't know. Like, so much happened in a millisecond. There's no way to capture it. There's no way to show what just went down. But, like, the lobby crunch got dealt with. The guys at B that were these early rotates into a stacked B bomb site got churned up. Back to the drawing board now for Vitality. They're out of money. Also, you might be wondering, like, well, how did they know ZywOo was coming from there? Actually, it's kind of cool, like with the Heaven, you know, like with them rotating up through the vent and Heaven never having a peek come in early, they just poise for lobby. They go, well, he's not vent, that's where we came from. You know, we've checked out Heaven, we can watch this from the heart. Let's just double up and play around the idea he's lobby bound. And so they play that trade game. They play the 2v1 perfectly.
Playing outside against Pistol is going to give Vitality very little options. They don't have any B rotates right now. Finally, Masuta moves in off of the ramp, but unless you're going to catch ForZe in these hallways of Secret, you're not going to do much, and it's never going to be B anyway. Faking out the Secret cross, they're doubling back. They've got Shelfie waiting in lobby, and they can take all the space in the world outside.
Yeah, it's kind of funny. You know, coming into this second half, we said, like we heard Vitality saying, we might make mistakes, but we soldier on. ForZe said, guys, we don't make mistakes. Oh, look, wrapping in towards heaven and hell. They've split Masuta out on an island, and all these pistols are churned up. It's not going to get weird. It's not going to get wild, even though Apex tries his best to make that happen. ForZe find the conversion, 12-8. And they've got Vitality right where they want them. The longer you can keep this streak up, needless to say, the better. But especially when it's this CT side, man, the money can feel so punishing. Really can. And the idea that all these rounds are hitting almost like a 2-for-1 right now for ForZe is very quickly accelerating them towards the finish line on Vitality's map pick.
Now it's Eorp, and there it is, delivering the goods. Not what Apex wanted nor needed, picked immediately. The cross outside does hit some tags. ZywOo capitalizing, but only good for one. And when you're trading 1-for-1 on ZywOo, you're doing a damn good job, as ForZe were able to do in that 2v1 in lobby. Shalfie doing his best to pre-impression. Magiski's not ready, and it's a freebie. 50 damage. Shalfie gets in and out all the way up to heaven. It's an A split right now. Dupree knows it's coming, but he's got to put on one hell of a show. Flash comes in. He's so blind. Nowhere to move, nowhere to hide. And a 3-on-1 to get a 13th round here. It's only Masuta with no kit.
So he's holding the angle. Now, if he misses this shot, no, he doesn't miss anything, does he? There's ForZe in with the round. And, dude, like, even that little kind of like 4-man group up into the A play where Dupree is there, I think for lesser experienced teams, for teams that get easily kind of scared or worried, that could have gone so wrong. You had so many low players. Your one guy with health was a little far out right over towards the door, but he lobs that flash in like what was really just a split-second slowdown. Everyone just kind of stopped moving for 2 seconds, and they let that flash come in to wreck Dupree. They don't feel the pressure of, we need to trade that. We need to trade that guy in the site. We got to get the bomb down. No, it's still very measured. They don't get ahead of themselves.
They've also got the Heaven player in as well, but I agree with you. I was sitting there thinking, God, Dupree's going to win this whole round because that lower player tries to trade, they're dead. Heaven player Dupree knows he's coming. So many ways that round could go wrong, but ForZe the split-second decision to chill and to wait on the util. They believe in the Jerry system. You kind of have to, right? This guy's like the Russian Tabson. He can speak English perfectly. He could have gone to many European teams, mixes of nationalities, but for 5+ years, he's been here in ForZe, building roster after roster, pulling star after star, while they go on to greener pastures, flit to outsiders, players that we know and love. And Jerry, well, he somehow stayed here, even in the major, even in the 2-0 spot. Nice shot. The Jis goes back for more, wants to double dip, and he'll take 2.
Okay, Magis. All right, now it's a little more interesting. They do trade him, but it's at quite the cost. These are only Deagles, and you've got low HP on Shalfie. You're feeling pretty limited at this point in time. Outside control was taken, but they don't want to commit. That's almost a lineup. That was a collateral out of Apex's Deagle. If only it was a pixel or 2 higher, that could have been unreal. Instead, 3-on-3. Dupree, there's the 5-7, and he's going to mow them all down with it. Pocket rocket for Dupree as he locks that round in for Vitality.
Woo! That was clean as can be. Up the vent and just mauls the man. That gun is very good right now, and Dupree shows us how to do it. What a recovery. What a round to win for Vitality. May not feel like a lot in the moment, but that can pump you up. That can shut down the momentum. 4 rounds in a row for ForZe broken ever since they got their first T-side bye. And finally, Vitality have cracked that nut. They just have to chow down. Still a long road to recovery, but we heard those motivational speeches. We see Zonic clapping behind the folks. Their heads aren't out of it yet. ForZe have got to dig deeper still because their money's on the line now. Jerry's on a tech. Zorti's still got his big green. And over on the B stream, Renegades are mapped down to IHC, facing 0-3 elimination. Bunch of pick'ems on the line on that one. All right, Apex sneaking into the vent. No knife out just yet, but he's ready for a drop. Sit out. Dupree's got a great angle here.
Yeah, there's no winning that one if you're Zolty. Whoa, Apex. It's scary, man, as that spam's getting traded on the door. He's already had one unfortunate timing over towards main. Doesn't want to make it another. Now tucked in here, deep at ramp, is Masuta. Not going to offer himself up to the AWP, and he's even called for a bit of a helping hand out of the AWP of his own. ZywOo now set up over at Hell, allowing for this rotate between there and Heaven. He's able to help on either side in the blink of an eye.
They made so much noise in A and in lobby this round that Vitality is so scared. They're not even playing outside. So I was watching like the cross to Secret, but ForZe are regrouping for a main split right now.
Oh my. Oh my, Jerry! Throws caution to the wind, knows he's got Apex trapped. Now Masuta's hit this timing. It's a very awkward one. They don't know that he's here. This could be the round winner. Line up, and Norvi's going to trade it after one. Now ZywOo, we talked about him earlier, set up in Hell. He's meant to be able to watch ramp, meant to be able to get this under control, but a missed shot, and they slip on by. They get down lower. Magisk is already here, dropping the bomb out on the ramp side. Time is running out, and Magisk still putting up numbers, refusing to let up. In with another. It's only Shalfie left standing here, and there simply isn't time. He's out of the round, and Vitality are up onto double digits. Wonderful play there for Magisk. He just runs at them, relentless, knows that dropping the right man, the right moment can win you the round, and so he does exactly that.
Oh, the Danes have done so much today, right? Yesterday it was the Frenchies who were putting up quite a show, but Dupree and Magisk have won so many rounds in this game for Vitality. All these like little 2vx's that have come through have had at least one of them alive, if not both. Dupree with his ramp lurks and the T side were good. Magisk now winning another round, and ForZe only on this saved AK. There's still hope for Vitality yet, even with a couple of missed shots here and there. Masuta spams out that AK, no armor, just anyone can grab it. Norvi will. But this is not a round that should be of much interest for ForZe. It's not like they even have the nades to run anything. One smoke on Kenzie, can lob it wherever he deems appropriate. But what angle will ZywOo mangle around it? Got that AWP out. It's a good smoke. But again, leaves a lot to be desired in terms of cover to Secret.
Yeah, I think your best bet is maybe to just try and run down the main guy on the back of this smoke fading. Going any wider than that, you're in the firing line of this AWP.
Or is he firing lines or firing blanks? Nope, that one's a bullet right to Kenzie. ZywOo, he hits his flick on the run boost. Oh, yeah, not even hard. Plenty of warning, and easy enough. ZywOo on for all four in the yard. It's just done. No chance on the eco. 11 rounds to Vitality, and back to the buy for ForZe.
Yeah, it's close now, right? It is. Vitality are kind of nipping at their heels, bringing this one more and more into their favor as time ticks on. Now, this is where, for ForZe, right, having this kind of young, hungry squad, it's going to be a big test to see if you can keep the nerves in check. Hasn't been a problem yet, but ForZe have been winning. It's easy to be riding the high. Can you power through the lows? That's what Vitality had to do right off the top, and they're still able to even manage it now. ForZe coming in with this investment, going to be limited still, right, with Shalfie saving his AK into this round. But that's the only limitation you've got. Other than that, everything you'd need. You don't have this AWP in play either. So maybe a bit of a faster round.
I want to see if they're doing a fast round, if they try and abuse Apex in main, because he has been a bit of a liability at times. He got picked by Zorti's AWP on the CT side. He was looking into the wall when they rushed outdoor before. He's the bottom player for the team. That could be a gap in for ForZe. They're going to drop on him instead, but he sees it coming and gets immediately behind cover. Oh, Apex fighting, but he can't win it. Norway converts the spray. Magisk really wanted to get involved, but they crept down the vent. Does he even know there's 3 silent vent sneakers?
Dude, that's wild. And even though like Masuta dropped earlier on the back of that smoke, he's playing right into their hands. Oh, Kenzie, that one's free. Next one might cost him, but still the B play set up. There shouldn't be any winning this for Vitality. No. They don't even know they're down lower yet. And now they hear that door swing. Reality starts to set in.
chill.
Maybe that kill entices them. Maybe that kill gives them a reason to go for it. Kenzie's going to cancel it out as quick as he's appeared. He is gone, disappearing from the secret side, and that's a done deal. ForZe are up onto 14.
I love that round. They draw so much attention out of Apex by sending Norvi on that main drop, right? And, you know, he doesn't even need to get that kill. He just needs to get Apex out of the door. The second he gets the kill, ForZe go, yep, all right, event is free. There's no one to stop us. I'm going to sneak down, and a free round comes out. You even saw Magis look at the door like maybe they could be down vent. I don't know. I've heard nothing. I just see a smoke, and you never know whether it's a commit or not. The balls to triple walk down vent are incredible. What a call for ForZe, and that was all planned from the get-go. The masterman, Jerry, putting on a 14th and putting on a show on Vitality's map pick.
Dude, if he does, you know, if ForZe do manage to close this out, I think that's a pretty big deal for someone like Jerry, because the reason why, you know, they were always on the cusp of greatness, but they always felt more like an upset team with old rosters, was they could take, you know, top teams the distance, they could make it real close, but they would sometimes struggle getting those games actually over the line. And that was especially prevalent versus like your Navis.
What?
Jerry!
Mid-air!
That's not how it's meant to happen! And now with a bit of luck going his way, why stop there, right?
He's got it all. Luck, skill. I don't know. What else do you need?
Kill.
Yeah. My goodness.
And I mean, now 5-on-4 couldn't have asked for a better start, really. Ooh, bit of tag from Dupree. ForZe a grouping for one of these A splits by the looks of things, although you're never assured in that with the triple vent sneak last round. Norvi might be very blind, but he still gets into secret. The position that matters, not the eyeballs. Dupree looking for lobby kills. Kenzie's found Magis, so the other Dane's got to step up, and he will double down. That's the bomb dropped in the door. Trying to close it on ForZe in this round.
They've got to come off vent.
Vent, main, hut. These are the positions they've got. It's all they got to work with, and it's not pretty. Norvi especially is in a rough spot right now. They're going to try and vent drop, maybe. That's what it feels like. They're going to have to. That's really their only route back into this, is a vent drop. Instead, Norvi's come up. He's joined for the A fight. They're actually committing into this. A double sight hold. Two players here. Norvi's got to deal with them both alone, and he's seen them running away.
No,
Still dead to Dupree. Doesn't matter. It's all on Jerry now.
Winnable.
1 versus 3. He started the round off with a hop, skip, and a jump, and he hears them rotating away. He thinks they think he went down lower. It was the only play that was available, but now it dawns on them. He outbrained them, he got past them, and now he's got a man stuck on the vent. Dupree's baiting. This is all to draw his attention in. There he tries it. Now Heaven is the next point of contact, runs the molly, fights Saiwoo. He's gone, he's reappeared, he's like a ghost in the sight, and Dupree will get rid of him. It's a damn good try for Jerry. The man at the helm of ForZe tried to put 15 on the board, but it's snatched away in the 3v1.
Oh my god, these rounds are a roller coaster right now. They're terrifying. How do Vitality keep that one together? I can't even blame them for that panic drop down B. That seemed like the obvious play. That seemed like the only play. There were so many ways ForZe could have won that. If that backside player even kills one, you know, if Jerry actually peeks Dupree when he mollies him out behind vent with 20 health, but there was a bit of fear for ForZe, and it will let them down. Vitality, they don't overplay their hand in the 3-on-1. They wait for the group, and all three of them come right at Jerry. A very nice try in the clutch. But this game's not done, Harry. ForZe haven't closed it yet again. Those problems against the top, those problems against a tier 1, rear their head again. I do like how ForZe is just all signed up with some of the madness, some of the calls that keep coming through. No matter, you know, how crazy they are. There's no AWP in this one. Zoe's got his. Definitely woken up in the latter stage of this game. He was 4-10 to start.
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of even interesting to think about. Like, for Vitality, their biggest problem has been meshing together these two very conflicting styles of Counter-Strike, right? Whereas for ForZe, keep saying how everyone's bought into Jerry's system. It is the Jerry system, right? And everyone subscribed to it.
Shalfie?
Shalfie's got this,
Hello?
mate. There's no...
Other way, Shalfie.
Oh, no.
He won't know.
Oh, no. His team think it's clear. It's not. Now they see ZywOo, and Shalfie realizes he's missed it, but now he's back in position. Oh, ZywOo's going to get it. Not meant to win that one, ZywOo, but he can't get any more. Turning back, Zorti's going to find him, and they're down lower. They're in the backline. Vitality. The Barbarians are here. They're knocking on the door. Masuta's got to hold the line. He's the only guy down lower.
How the hell does ZywOo even get one? I couldn't tell you. A retake is certainly possible, but there's a ramp lurk. Dupree's ready for it. It's his bread and butter. Jerry dead. Norway with a plant. Apex on the late secret lurk. And he needs Magisk to come down that vent. He's got a clear position for him. Roll out the carpet. Red carpet made of blood. His blood. Norway comes back in the doorway and takes out the in-game leader. They're going to focus on ramp. Zorti's pushed up, 2 CTs here. If they kill Masuta, they know about Dupree. He was in the kill feed earlier on. Magisk is only now coming down the vent, but Zorti's picking these other players apart. Where's Magisk? We need him here. We need him now. He's opened the door. He's being loud. Zorti in the back of the site, dead. And the bomb plant in the open. Kenzie's got time, but does Magisk. Smoke on it. Fight taken. Kenzie wins. And ForZe find 15 first.
Unbelievable scenes. I think I just saw a signal there for the timeout. ForZe wanting to compose themselves, right?
What on earth was that in secret? What? How does ZywOo even get one? I know it doesn't matter, but like the timings, the corners missed. And he no-scopes Shalfie and Vent is one job. And they still win it. With or without him. Vitality, they were poised for a retake, man. That was 4-on-3 in their favor. They got rid of the lurkers, both of them. But ForZe set up in the site. No AWP, no need. We got clutches coming through, and we got one more needed. This is the easiest one. This is the best chance you're going to get. 2 Deagles, a FAMAS, no kit, no AWP. But is there a chance?
Yeah, these rounds are kind of always like deceptively harder than maybe they look. Because as you say, it is the easiest round, and you know that. So let's see how wild they get with it. Do they try and go faster? Are they going to keep it pretty slow? Shalfie's once again trying to manipulate this vent timing. He's already gotten out. Magisk has no idea. Oh, this is so wild inside of the doors. Magisk has got nades out. He's expecting so much respect. There's no respect given. Zorti with the double opener, the A site. Blown wide open by just one man. Oh, you're going to try and take lobby, are you? Well, Kenzie's been here the whole damn time. Shot in the side of the head. It's all on Apex. Nothing he can do, and he's gone. ForZe going to steal Nuke away. They go 1-0 up in this series. They're eyeing up a 3-0 into the Legend stage.
This is unbelievable. I mean, you know, we know CIS teams on majors, man. You can't discount them. You can't forget about these guys. There's so many examples. Vega Squadron, Quantum, Bellator, Fire, Outsiders in the past. So many of these teams have made deep runs at majors when there's no expectation of them. But man, ForZe not only going to look to do it, but going to look to do it flawlessly through this stage. If they can find one more win, they have 2 more maps. Dust 2, Mirage, CIS team. Is it going to happen, Harry?
It certainly could, right? Because we're going to like a CIS Classic, a CIS home map. Dust 2 coming down the pipeline next. But for now, I mean, we'll throw it back to the desk. What did y'all make of that?
Oh my God. Wow. ForZe. Incredible. And I love that you laid out kind of the history of the CIS teams and the fact that they do break through when you don't give them the credit to do it, when they are in an underdog position, because they go for it. Every single round. From this first round in this game, they did not care about the names on the other side. Not at all. It was actually obviously sad for Vitality, but beautiful to see some out of these youngsters. Gotta remember, the core 3, they have some experience, right? And Jerry has tons of experience. Zorti and Kenzie, this is kind of their first foray into all these moments, and it's not phasing them.
No, it's the courage they bring to the table. It's the bravery they put to the table. I mean, when you have Shalfie taking that timing in the last round where he sneaks towards Vent and Zorti just straight up strafing next to him, that's what we need to know. That's all you need to know about ForZe. It's the fear of winning round number 16 that usually strikes all challengers trying to take down a favorite. None of that for ForZe.
No, they have balls. They have big balls, and they show it every single round. I mean, they have no respect, absolutely none, and it's lovely to see because I think this is the only way to beat a favorite is put them under the pressure constantly, because it's not easy to play teams like this that don't play a standard way of Counter-Strike. You know, they see a risk, a potential play, they go for it. They insta go for it, and you see how crazy Jerry was in the clutch attempts. You know, like
I thought this was happening.
Amazing play. He has snappy decision making, and it's wonderful to see.
I love that you said snappy. Is always someone who needs some cred as a IGL, although he didn't mean it like that. But these IGLs, man, they're sometimes out of different breed.
Yeah, and we have to give credit to Jerry as well, because if you just look at the timeline of that game, you have Vitality stabilizing, and everyone, the green room, the community, probably thinking, oh my god, they've done it. Like, they've regained control of what's happening. They have these 3 rounds in a row on the CT side. Zywo's got an AWP, and this is when actually Jerry manages to find 3 solutions out of 4 rounds. 3 different rounds, 3 different ways to get to victory, and this is where we have to give him credit.
Yeah, Devil, when you talk about problem solving as an IGL, in a game that you've made fast-paced yourself, also up against a team that is very experienced all round, and that's also pretty fast-paced when you look at some of the things that Apex was attempting at times. What do you, or basically how much credit do you give that team, and do you give Jerry for winning a game in that way on Vitality's Nuke pick?
So there is this saying where basically the perfect plan executed with a delay is always worse than a simple and violently executed plan. And that's basically ForZe and what they are doing. They're doing very simple things. They're seeing the risk, they take them, and they're all just into it. And you see some of the rounds, they're just like, Vitality had full control, and all of a sudden 3 kills for ForZe at the same time.
And I love that you mentioned Apex, because I don't know how much of it I can put solely on Jerry, but I know that he created a chaos under which Apex couldn't play. Absolutely not. You go back, you watch that GoTV, and you select the amount of unnecessary risks Apex took just to try and understand what was happening in the round, how many times he gave his life trying to retake information. He was out of the rhythm. I think he cost Vitality a lot of very important rounds.
This is obviously, you know, a team issue if you can't win your own map pick, but I remember you telling me similar things during the RMR when it was up against them. Apex as the IGL really trying to make it happen and sometimes overstepping just a little bit, right? Or am I remembering?
No, you're correct. What bothers me when it comes to Apex sometimes is the unforced errors. Like, that's a term that they use in tennis, right? When a player just throws a ball away for no good reason. He wasn't necessarily being attacked. He wasn't being put in a bad position. I think Apex has a tendency to do that in games that are really high pressure or high tension, and then we can give Jerry some credit. But at times he'll step out of his comfort zone for no reason. He wasn't mullied out. He wasn't flashed out. He just gives out his life at times. I don't know if it's just information gathering maybe, but it just doesn't work out.
And I also want to point out the importance of his position in the CT side on Nuke. You need a very vocal player on yard, a rifler that needs to stay alive, needs to, communicate what the terrorists' intention is. Are they going down secret? Are they going for CT yard control? What are they trying to do? Is it the main split? And he needs to be the pillar of that, but he died way too early on that CT defense, which confused Vitality in the rotations, and ForZe could capitalize.
That's a great read. Let's look at round 27 as well, because Vitality did fight back at times. You see the class sometimes coming out of an Apex, of a Zywo, also of a Dupree, and this one was so crucial for ForZe to not let them come back into it completely.
I mean, this was, first of all, a very confusing round, considering Zywo is supposed to be there. Xiaofi has the timing of his life right there. He doesn't even realize it. Zywo finds here that no scope. It's going to be ForZe obviously taking control over the lower side. Dupree, I think he did his best. He put his best foot forward in that game. He tried to save Vitality time and time and time again. Apex dies here. Again, not necessarily needed. Magisk is going to try his damnedest, but it's just not going to be enough. And this is actually ForZe making on 215. You mentioned Dupree. I think it's fair we give him a shout out. He tried his very best. He had a couple of multi-kills that saved your team out of bad situations, but it just wasn't enough.
No. All respect to Dupree. He put a hell of a game.
Yeah, he tried. He really tried.
So we're going to look ahead, but before we do, talk to me about the prep trap.
Yeah, so this is something you obviously Maniac. You were mentioning you didn't like the Nuke pick from Vitality, and as a coach, sometimes you can get into this mode where you check the maps, how they are playing and approaching it, and you see something weird, and it's not usual, and you think you have a counter for it, but it's like. Theoretically, the counter makes sense, but it's very hard to put it instantly into practice for all 5 players to commit to this idea and find the solutions, because it's a lot of chaotic moments they're not used to.
We talked. Go ahead.
No, I just wanted to say the problem to that is the first step of the plan. I understand, right? You figure out how ForZe want to play Nuke, and you think to yourself, I know exactly how I'm gonna go around it. The second step of the plan is to actually be really strong and confident on the map on their T side. And Vitality needed what? A crazy eco round from ZywOo with the Deagle to even just put themselves in motion on that T side, and that was my issue. But I'm just gonna preface it on Dust 2.
Yes, please.
I think ForZe might have made the same mistake. I am not a fan of the Dust 2 peak either. I thought there were more clear choices. Maybe they just allowed the Frenchies to push it to a third.
Is that your hope? Your heart speaking?
We call that a self-fulfilling prophecy. Is that how I call it?
Okay, we'll see what happens. Vitality up against it versus ForZe. ForZe beat them on their map pick on Nuke. And next up, we are going to Dust 2. Don't go anywhere.
Now that's what we call major. 14 days of high-octane action. 14 days of fierce battles. 14 days of special bonuses from GG Bet. Whoop, cheer, and make your fortune.
Welcome back, everyone, as we're about to preview Vitality versus ForZe, going on to Dust 2, which is ForZe's map pick, which usually should spell good news, but Maniac is huffing the copium, or not.
The copium now.
The copium, in saying that perhaps they have made a similar mistake as Vitality did in being lured into a false sense of security on Nuke. Why is that, and why might this be a trap for ForZe?
Hear me out. I know that Dust 2 is in the wheelhouse of Jerry. I know Jerry has liked Dust 2 for a long time. It's a map that ForZe play, and they win most of the time. 67% actually last 3 months. Now, the teams that they play, I'm going to give you a bunch of names. Sure. Heat, Sprout, Nexus, Saw. These aren't exactly playoff major type teams we're talking about right now. On the side of Vitality, they know Dust 2. I just think that there was a beautiful overpass opening its arm for Jerry to take a map that Vitality has played only once in the last 3 months, and he decided to go for Dust 2. And I wonder if he didn't allow the Frenchies and the Danish to come back.
Well, I still think, even though you look at that, I think the performances they made previously in this tournament was against weaker teams. And even coming in and beating Vitality, even if we say it's not a good pick for Vitality, they should be taking that map against a team like ForZe.
Yes.
So I think that we need to rearrange our expectations of ForZe a little bit and actually put a little bit of a dark horse stamp on them, because I am impressed. I'm genuinely super excited to see them play and watch them have that, connection in the game with each other, which was lacking a little bit for Vitality.
I'm super impressed. I'm super impressed with ForZe. There's no way around it. They're one map away from qualifying to the Legend stage undefeated as a 3-0 team. Who would have thought? I have ForZe in my pick'ems. Just gonna put it out there. But I didn't think they would make it 3-0. Oh my God.
Not many people did, and I think this is what the whole discussion we had about, like, okay, well, when you beat a tier 1 team that's in the top 10, talk to us again. Well, they might today. But let's look at Vitality. Great teams can come back from losing a first map, obviously. Great teams can qualify to the Legends stage, even if they lose this best of 3. But it's about what damage does it do to your confidence. Yesterday we said, Mathieu, okay, Vitality has turned a page. Their confidence is on the right level. Mizuta is playing very well together, which is activating ZywOo. So if we go out from that little notebook, what do you want to see from Vitality on this too?
I'm going to hone in on Apex. Not because I want to badmouth him in any way. I just think that his ability, and we hear him roar right now, and there is a reason for that, ladies and gentlemen, his ability to move past that first map on Nuke, to reset mentally, to be clear-minded on what he needs to do on Dust 2, both individually and as a captain, is going to be key for Vitality. He cannot take the ghost of Nuke with him onto Dust 2. Just cannot do that.
No, I agree with you. I think Apex is a key element in this, because he is also a very momentum-based player and can actually have big numbers in games as well because of that. And we saw that in the earlier games, and I think he needs to be up there with the rest of the boys for them to trounce ForZe, because they're coming out swinging.
Yeah, this is also a map which could be very fun for Zorte or for ZywOo, depending on how the cookie crumbles. So, Devil, let's start with the position of the team that is against, or that has lost the first map. How do they activate ZywOo correctly? How does he take the space, as we harken back to our earlier conversation, to pull Vitality to a third map?
I think all they really need to do is reference their RMR qualification, where they were in a really bad situation, but at the end they pulled through. So if they keep that mentality and remind themselves they've done this in the past, I think they will be fine.
Okay, definitely so. There's a lot of class and talent on that Vitality lineup, and they're going to need it to win versus ForZe on Dust 2. Can't wait to see this. Casters, take it away.
Inspiring words there from Devil Walk. I've never heard someone sound so assured. I think they will be fine.
Truly Swedish.
Yeah, no, dude. I don't know. I think this is a really, really hard one to try and quantify, right? Because it feels like ForZe, even though they've always been a team that can make runs happen, can make magic happen, it feels like they've upped the level overall, and they're kind of riding the high of all their successes right now, It's very, very hard to try and quantify that. And at the same time, one of the things that was said coming into this series was all the pressure's on Vitality. Like, if ForZe lose this, people will kind of go, yeah, okay, well, Vitality's like this team of legends. They probably should be getting the win. For ForZe, there's still more chances down the pipeline. For Vitality, they're going to get judged more harshly, if they end up losing this. They're going to be in their head a little bit more maybe after Nuke. Yeah. True champions have to brush that stuff off, and no one knows it better than a man like Zonic stood behind Vitality right now. Let's see how they fare. It's a CT side start on ForZe's map pick.
Yeah, right out long. Couple up cat late. That Xbox smoke did miss, but it's not the end of the world. No one punishes Apex drops the smoke and gets back to safety. Often is Apex caught in the open in this catwalk position, so that can't afford to happen here and now. Flash on long just dodged by Kenzie on a tight gap, but it's all way back to the mid to B anyway. Dupree spots it. Good info for Dupree, and he gets out alive. What a... Oh my goodness. Zywoo doubles up somehow, some way from the cross, and there's even Apex up closer to deliver one more. Finally, Chalfie in a 1v5, just looking to stay in the round. He cannot. They hunt him down. That was great. From Dupree getting that quick info on the double back, because at the same time that they saw the cat take, they also saw a guy at long, so that could have easily looked like an A play. A very quick turnaround for ForZe, but read well by Vitality. And great shots from Apex and Zywoo to shut out the round. Some tech issues perhaps as we get things acclimatized, but yeah, I was surprised to see Vitality pick Nuke against ForZe. I feel like almost weird to say, but given the kick up the arse that was losing your map pick and going into two very loose maps, I feel like there's still a very good chance that Vitality can come in and reverse sweep this series. Yeah. If their individuals step up, it's always a caveat, but these guys are more experienced. These guys are head-to-head, pound-to-pound better. There were a lot of out-cooled rounds by Jerry and that T side towards the end. Some of the abuse they gave Apex in that main and door position was really, really nice. It's going to be a lot harder to find these gaps on maps like Dust, especially where, it's just the city sides are so rigid, so solid, and stars can always shine on these aim dually maps.
Yeah, and even though there is this idea of Dust 2 being like a real home CIS map, it's one that even when you kind of look at ForZe historically, they've not been without their woes here on Dust 2 in times gone by. Not been uncommon to see matches that maybe they should win go against them. So I'm inclined to agree. I don't think they're entirely out of the woods. And there's also this idea of before you came into that first map and you say, all right, let's give it our all. Let's give this everything we got. Well, now the kind of stakes are raised. Now it's like, okay, if we win this next one, we're actually going through the major 3-0. Now it's kind of starting to dawn on you. And that can pump you up, but it can break you as well. So let's see what happens. Crossing mid for Vitality. Expel the smoke to make that happen. No danger of getting tagged crossing by this scout on Zorti.
Quick door smoke.
Of course, it's Jerry throwing that one.
Is Kenzie throwing another door smoke? Jerry said, mate, I already did it. Door smoke, don't you worry. Well, it's a late one. It's going to land a few seconds after that one disappears. Timing's actually pretty perfect, but again, this is a ruse, a rumbling. A lean towards B for Vitality. Oh, that's such a big spot for Zywoo. He was about to rotate B off of the util, but he sees that scout up catwalk. He goes back to CT. Apex again in the open as we can expect, but that's the benefit to being in this position. They walk right through with no flashbang, and Apex bangs them both. Flash of the pan for ForZe, and only 2 Ts left up, even being flanked from middle. But Dupree holds off and waits for ForZe to commit.
You always get a little nervous when it's a Zorti scout like that, but all well and good. Zywoo
looking good
at them. It's a clean start out of this guy. Gonna need to have a lot out of him, really.
Yeah, he was really good on CT side. He just started very, very slow. Didn't have the orbs on T-Half, got to remember, but the recovery was nice. However, wasn't always in the right position to win rounds and was often going 1-for-1, which, as we know, is not standard Zywoo rounds. Full eco here, and yeah, time to farm. Get up top mid, get in the face. We already saw how impressive Vitality were just in that 5-on-1. Everyone swinging together. So they want to keep those contained again. Oh, that's a beautiful peek. Shouldn't get away with too much more.
Poor Chalfie. He got spammed through the long corner, just trying to take a little jiggle. And Dupree is all the way up in top mid. They're trying to win this Deeg fight over at long, but a double-layered, kind of staggered peak. Not going to happen. And even though Jerry is all the way through B, he's got a P250 and a 1v4 with the bomb down long. If anything, he is kind of begging to die at this point. Going to try and do some damage on the way out, though. And as he jiggles this, they see him now. That's a kick! What? PT50 does get one before all is said and done. However, ZywOo was there to trade. So it's all well and good. Vitality 3-0. And now we have this investment coming through for ForZe.
Yeah, that's going to make you feel good going into your gun round, just exiting with that little tap. But yeah, rifles on an AWP for ZywOo. Sooner the better on the CT side of Dust. And ZywOo full of fiber. He's just going to float around on this CT side, run all over the place. Starting long, going back to the CT spot, or back to the catwalk rather. No one to boost him yet, but Apex is on the way, and that boost gets knocked off by the flashbang, fortunately enough for ForZe. ZywOo goes from long to cat to CT spawn. He's everywhere and nowhere all at once. But ForZe are still hanging around in lower with 4 players. They're trying to cause enough commotion that someone pushes on the long side and fees Norway a kill, but Masuta ain't making no mistakes. And ZywOo, he's here to break faces. Flash up catwalk, but he just wants that cross because the bomb right now is trapped lower. If this was to end catwalk, Shalfie has to join him. Fantastic grenade. Bomb gets thrown, but not too well. It falls on the ground. And ZywOo saw that throw as well. Oh, ZywOo's rotated, and now the bomb goes back to lower. God, they're really playing with this info on Vitality. And they've pulled the wall right over their eyes.
Oh, hang on.
Oh.
Hang on.
Can't even tell where this one's going. It will be A. So ZywOo now has been given ample time to get back in the bomb site.
Yeah, ForZe, they're running the risk of kind of outbraining themselves here, right, as they go back and forth. Now go walking into the stack. It's a lot of damage out of Apex, but no kill found.
What?
Oh, Jerry's very, very deep and good for a one and done. But ZywOo holds on, dropping the bomb out on short, and with it the round. Kenzie had dropped down to CT earlier on, and he needed that kill if he wanted to have any chance of winning it. It's all taken away by this ZywOo AWP. 9-0 right now. Looking to repeat his debut here at the major.
Yeah, I don't think ForZe just realized how much info they were giving with that bomb toss, right? ZywOo just, it seemed like they were faking it out so they could drop lower. There were 2 down lower at one point, but they go back up catwalk, try and split with Norway on that long timing, and Vitality just were given so much time for ZywOo to go all around the world and then back up on A, and he hits the couple of kills that just win the round. This last kill didn't even need it, but it looks good as well.
Yeah, it's one of these things where I think ForZe come into this riding the high of Nuke, feeling like they were in the heads of Vitality through and through. And so they're still trying to go for these like kind of convoluted and like, you know, very manipulative of like the rotations for the opponent. But it doesn't feel like it's meshing right now because it feels like Vitality have come into this with a second wind. They're not defeated. They're not deflated. You know, with a team of this caliber, with the players, with the coach, with the staff that you have kind of joining it all together, that was never going to be the case. And I like that they called a pause. I think that was needed, honestly, to kind of just regain a bit of composure out towards long. Masuta's doubled up. The attempt to take it has gone sour very, very quickly. But yeah, ForZe, they will need to course correct soon, or else they're running the risk of Vitality, them being the ones feeling like they've got the reads. They're in the head of Jerry. They're in the head of ForZe. You're getting frustrated because everything was working last map. It was all falling into place. And now you can't seem to set a foot right. That's a nice kill, though.
Yeah, but he's got one man on, but you can see Apex is running. I mean, he can go through this smoke. It's Apex. He's going to yeet and try and chase down Jerry, who will dive out the doors. Molly in front of the smoke. Apex has an angle, but he gets tagged by the scout. Dishes out damage back. Just going to anchor the B site, playing 2-2, leaves really nothing open for ForZe in this round. ZywOo has the AWP on the car. And really, that's also the big ticket item, like winning a pistol, winning your first rifle, immediately getting an AWP, going flawless, and you're on one of the best halves to AWP in the map. So it's going to do a world of good to the #2 player in the world. ZywOo waiting. They can run boost, but he hits these. We know he hits these. Why wouldn't he?
Oh, that was even close on the pre-fire. Okay, Scout's going to tag him down. He wants to get out of the limelight now. Actually, I say that. He's running right in. He wants to take the fight. Oh, and it's clean. 11-0.
What is this? Inferno against Cole?
And Vitality, one hell of a resurgence here. You cannot underestimate this team. You thought they were down. You thought you had them after stealing Nuke away. ZywOo's woken up.
Yeah. I mean, he woke up in the second half of Nuke, no doubt.
He comes into this like after already going through the low point.
The difference is they could avoid him on Nuke, right? And they really were. They were doing a great job of putting him in retakes with AWPs or you know, trading him in secret. But you can't avoid an AWP on Dust. It cannot be done. ZywOo will find you. He will break down the door. Apex, 1-for-1 in middle. Jerry's going to get that trade. Throws in the mid to B, but ZywOo beckons them, welcomes them into his site.
Yeah, right place, right time again.
How late's the lurk, though?
Masuuta's got all this info. He's like, yeah, it's definitely B. And so ZywOo's now moved in to join up with dupreeh. They both get a killer piece. Forced out by the molly into this scout and caught by Jerry in the doors. He's opened up the B site. dupreeh's going to slip out through the doors smoke. Masuuta's wrap all the way through. Spawn is now arriving. This is getting very claustrophobic. That molly's not going to help matters. The spam from Masuuta's given up the flank, so now they know about him. Uh-oh. This has gotten wild very, very quickly. A 2v4 turn 2v2. Zorti and Jerry still fighting tooth and nail for B site control. Crossing in the doors is a death sentence for Magisk. And now it's only dupreeh left standing. 1v2. All his teammates falling around him. He's going to try and swing, but it never comes down to that. The wall bang from Zorti to close. And that is a lovely round out of him and Jerry.
It's all happened again, Harry. It's a T-side and Nuke all over. It's more 2v4s. It's more shutdown rounds. It shouldn't be allowed. Fours. I mean, Magisk kills Masuuta there. He full blinds him. Masuuta has such a good timing. Oh my god, the gun stuck through. The barrel stuck through. It was too good to be true, wasn't it? Dear, oh dear. Dear, oh dear. Masuuta had such a good tunnels fight timing, but Magisk flashed either for him or dupreeh in the window, and Masuuta got fully blinded on that flank. He was there to win the round, and now he might go down first, so low. Kenzie has to smoke his retreat. They're coming up catwalk. They spam him out. Apex has had a lot more impact in this CT side already, and ZywOo can see through the box. 2 for him. 2 on 5. And Zorti blinded in middle. Don't get too close, dupreeh. Your barrel might go through. Magisk will smoke him off. And Zorti might be thinking about a save. There's a lot of time on this clock.
Could try and set up, with a long flash, right? To allow this peek for Novi. If you're able to deal with one of these long players, you can look to get the AWP set up at least down in the pit, have a bit of an impact as to how this A side's getting played. We'll clear it dry. And Masuuta's on the receiving end of that one there. Deeper flash. Novi even dropping a smoke to give the illusion that someone's made it into the pit. That's going to make these A side players play a lot more scared, right? They can't go swinging that long angle anymore. They've got to play boxed in. Zorti and Novi grouping up on the catwalk now, but that smoke timing is devastating. That's really sealed the deal on the round at this point. Shouldn't be any winning it. They're looking to save, but that's not guaranteed. Magisk down in the lower tunnels will make it so. Doubling up to close. Vitality. They get right back on it with a 6th. Shutting down the long play, despite it looking good for ForZe early on. And then the cap push is just melted by ZywOo. It's one of these things where I think, Jerry sometimes suffers with this idea that simple solutions maybe aren't the answer. Sometimes you kind of see, the rounds get very convoluted, or he doesn't want to do the same thing twice, right? He likes to keep it fresh every round, but I don't think these cap plays with ZywOo looking so good are feeling viable right now to ForZe. And now they're getting mowed down on long again. Wow. Yeah, the A site's just been off limits entirely. The one success you've had is in a B round, in a round that shouldn't have even gotten won.
Jerry just brute forces his way into that fight. But yeah, there's the difference is as well. There's just no gap. There's no hole. There's no problem for Vitality. Apex doubles up on long. He's having a great game right now. He's even chock full of confidence, almost too much. But he bails out of middle in time before the rifles can take him. But yeah, a lot of openers for Apex. A lot of cat and long kills for him. 4 and 2 in opening duels already. And Vitality keep pushing, whether it's Masuta coming in on long doors or taking tunnels back with Magisk. Him and Dupree have cleaned up B. And ForZe, if they wait on this D4 any longer, they are walking to their death. See, wouldn't want to be a Jerry 1v4. 10 health, no chance. 7-1 for Vitality. Things are going swimmingly right now for this roster. A reality check for ForZe.
I was so blind, I don't know. They're just
Talking about that double opener. I was so blind, I don't know.
Yeah, you know, this is where, if you look at like other CIS squad, I think Spirit are a good example. I know what Chopper would be calling right about now on this T side. I think he would feel like the time is nigh for just an all-in B play, an all-in B rush. Don't get me wrong, oftentimes the reads have been there for Vitality. They've kind of had extra players leaning towards B. But if you think about what the actual B players for this Vitality squad have got to experience, it was a lost 4v2, and other than that, nothing. They are playing this rotate role, and oftentimes the round is over before they even get to play into it. So they're kind of, they're not as warm as your ZywOos, your Apexes over towards that A-bomb site, who have just been on a bit of a tear.
Yeah. Okay. Still, Vitality every round are starting to be, and often have ZywOo either rotating mid or Apex helping out, spamming middle as he is now. So they're ready for the eventual B rush. They're no longer scared of long takes because they've multi-killed ForZe every time they've gone for long spawns. So yeah, it's very difficult for ForZe to look at something and go, ah yeah, this is our way in. Corridor smokes in mid. Left and right. Can get them a good tunnel to try and take a fight in mid, but Vitality have been keen to flash through these smokes from CT side. Obviously, as said, they're leading B. They won't need to. If Shalfie goes up and open, he will die. No, take that all back. Headshot images. There's the split. One more man. They're not going to expect it. They're not going to read it. They might completely leave it us discounted. Apex drops the bomb. And 2. They've got to go back for him, but he might be on for the round. 3 frags out of Apex. The in-game leader leads Vitality 2 and 8.
Beautiful scenes. Now just Novi left to get past, even though he's dealt with Masuta. ZywOo and Apex are back-to-back, and Apex wants the ace. He wants them all.
Oh.
Instead, overextending in middle, and the nade does nothing.
Uh-oh.
Oh, dear.
Uh-oh.
He wanted all the glory. He wanted everything. But now he's left the round open and in with a chance. ZywOo is low, but at 14-1, you're willing to hedge your bets.
TikTok.
Novi's waiting, hoping that a noise cue is made. No such graces. ZywOo back at the B site. Time is a problem. Every second passing. Novi's running out of chances here. Will he check for it? ZywOo winning this one by playing passive. Out with the swing. He's covered up by the barrel, but there's the reveal. And ZywOo's going to close the 1v1.
Phew, Apex. I would mold. Any reasonable man would mold if you kill 4 and lose the round. That almost went very, very wrong, but ZywOo tunneled in, boxed to the back of the site, and not to be expected by Novi. Didn't have the time to play around. That's a beautiful sequence for Apex. Playing the triple B and ForZe, they double entry on the mid split, and they never clear the bomb site. They don't check car. Wow. That was ForZe on the money to build into this game. The 2B plays, the reads, Zorti was holding above the smoke, but ZywOo, too quick, too clean. Whether it's openers or closers, he's got it.
We spoke a lot about the kind of apparent youth and relative inexperience of some of these ForZe guys. This is where, for someone like Kenzie, who's 1-9, not the kind of numbers you ever want to see out of this guy. It's going to be a real test of his character as to whether or not he can build back into this.
They missed that molly, so ZywOo is still on catwalk.
Luckily enough, they don't look destined to take it. They're like throwing this fake util as though they're going for a cat play, but none of it's been sold. They didn't take long, so right now Masuta knows it's not long, and the molly missed.
God,
they
Jerry.
are missing everything.
Jerry.
The pressure is really getting to the man, and this ruse has not worked out at every single turn. Whiffs with util has cost them dearly.
You just said a couple of rounds ago, like, it feels like they're trying to overcomplicate it. And, I can kind of agree, but they're really going for it in that round. Like, the util was sick. From lower, they throw a long corner smoke, and then they flash Masuta in pit. Then, before that, obviously, Jerry misses the molly up cat, which, if anything, does them favors, because if he hits that molly, ZywOo drops spawn, and he could kill them CT, because Jerry also jumped through the CT smoke that he didn't need to jump through. Like you said, they're flustered, and, well, yeah, ForZe a little bit bungled right now. These are very basic mistakes that you just can't make. But with every round you lose, they only get more likely, more apparent.
Yeah, I mean, what comes with the championship mentality that a lot of pretty much all the players on Vitality have is this idea of, yeah, man, things might be bad at one point, but you can always turn it around. You can always build back in. For ForZe, they're looking at this through an entirely different lens, which is, let's not be one map away from 3-0ing it. Let's not be so close to doing it. Like, we have to do this. We have to seize this opportunity. And so it's in amidst that kind of rush of emotions and adrenaline that's coursing through them right now that all these little mistakes are creeping up. They don't necessarily have that experience to draw upon to feel comfortable in pulling this back. Over in mid, Dupree. It's a 1-for-1. They don't check for Apex again. This guy, man, everywhere you go, he's waiting in the shadows, waiting in the wings, and clipping them for fours. It's only Shalfie left standing. 1v3, another clutch needed. And another one where he's just so far removed from the bulk of the round. What can you expect him to do?
By the time he even gets to T-Spawn, they are already here. Apex hunting yet again, but this hunt is lovely. Look at his position. Apex is tucked in the corner. He's not even chasing. He's just denying any avenue through middle. This is done. This is a save. Even if Shalfie goes for it, he dies. So Vitality find double digits, and this is dominant, man. Like, this is just, ForZe have had nothing. They've had 2 chances. One of them they did close. Even then, that wasn't, I wouldn't even call that as a chance. It was a 2-on-4. And then the 4-on-1 they have on B, they don't clear Apex. So, just little issues that are spiraling out of control. And now that they're, Apex is getting sold for again, Dupree going 1-for-1 in middle, completely sets Apex up for the round. And he delivers, man. He does it time and time again.
Dude, having Apex in your team when he's having like a great game must just be the best feeling ever. He's always got a little like one-liner once the round's over. He's always laughing. That one there, he says, I almost died in my molly that round. Like,
long spawns.
All right, they're going to try and take it. And finally, right, it's not this horrible mow-down situation. It's ZywOo's AWP over at long. He manages to make it at the car, but there is a molly. There's 2 of them, in fact, to try and deal with this. He will have support, right? Critically, Masuta doesn't have a smoke to lob in. So once ZywOo's used his, thankfully he doesn't have to yet. Oh, that's kind of saved him here. Because if he gets remollied and he'd already used a smoke, he would have to peek. He'd have to just either peek or burn out. Instead, he still has a degree of freedom.
They don't even have a molly ready for him. Kenzie's up cat with his. Try peeking.
One and done. Masuta on the short side wins his fight. Dupree is wrapped lower. It's unraveling here for ForZe, isn't it? Vitality. Just one man left to beat, and they swing him. They run at him. Apex having a hell of a game. 19-4, top of the server. And right behind is ZywOo.
This is more what you would expect from this matchup, right? Like, maybe not this dominant. Like, ForZe are here for a reason, but what a beating, and Vitality having so much fun. They also just don't respect ForZe because they know at this score, they're in their head. Every time ForZe do something out of spawn, Vitality just do the opposite. Like, they hear the long flashes, they know they've lost long, Dupree insta-pushes B upper, and so by the time the cat players are even there, he's shooting them in the back. Like, Masuta's pushed long twice in this game. both times it's been empty, even though Shalfie's been defaulting outside of it in 5-on-5. So yeah, Vitality have found all the gaps. They've played all the bait and switches. ZywOo's missed nothing in this CT side. There is simply not a way in for ForZe right now. The only thing they keep getting close to closing are these mid to Bs. So I guess that's what you go back to at this point. But man, got to get your util down at least. I like it.
They're going to try and be a little bit faster on this one. Apex often has been that wall in middle. This time deleted right away. That is
nice.
A big opener. And running the smoke through the tunnels is nice for Shalfie. That's a little less respect for a change. And Vitality, we're not ready for it. There's no winning this round in the 2v5. It's so far gone. You've just got to save from the get-go. And so ForZe will come in with a second once again, breaking a streak, but can't afford to be a one and done. 4 rounds. Even that's ugly, and that's best case scenario here.
Hey, Spirit, they pulled it to overtime with a 4-round T side against G2. But yeah, I completely agree. And even then, not much saying that ForZe will get 4. They found the way in. It's what they've been trying to abuse all half in doing mid to Bs, but Vitality are now ready for it. And really, that's just Apex is having a great game, and it's the first time they've run at him, and he's not got a single kill. So, you know, it could be a very different round if he doesn't get just dry peeked out middle again. But they're trying to get hyped up. They're trying to get their heads back in it. They know what they're fighting for. The 3-0, the flawless run to the Legends stage for the plucky CIS underdogs versus the legendary Frenchmen and Danes. Nades dropped in spawn, you'll see as well for later if needed. Vitality have enough money to do whatever the hell they want, including run through the smokes, Misuta. Give it a go, you got nothing to lose, and no one even looking.
Yeah, man trapped over behind blue. That molly's going to keep him cornered. Jerry tries to cross out, but now he's in the firing line. Misuta with 3.
What? How does he even get 3 there? Jerry's trapped now, they're going to flash peek him. Nowhere to go. Dodges it, but dead to bullets instead. And Shalfie, enjoy catwalk. We have the bomb.
I mean, eventually the penny should drop as well. This is a possibility. Yeah, ZywOo now on this, or sorry, Magisk rather, now on this angle.
ZywOo not on any angle.
Now he's been holding mid, but kind of on timing, so there is a gap, and Shalfie's found it. Going to deal with ZywOo. Magisk was hoping it was going to be a long swing, and it was not. Shalfie finds this one gap, but you can't win the round on the back of picking off the players on the extremities. You need to go get that bomb, and right now, it's just surrounded by Vitality. You need to be very methodical in clearing these corners, and that's something that ForZe have been lacking. 35 seconds, and I think Shalfie's just looking to save here, looking to make a retreat out of the round, so Vitality are up onto 12.
Save is actually completely pointless, by the way. Literally makes no difference whatsoever, at all. They can buy up full next round. So, kind of would have liked to see him just go for kills, but, you know, that's just stats play. And there's plenty of money for Vitality, so it's fine. It's not the end of the world. He can still drop over a gun, enable full utility perhaps. Maybe we get the AWP in, but yeah, this was pretty unwinnable anyway. He was hunting for Dupree, who pushed so far through B, he was in top middle. And Shalfie, yeah, it takes a fight. Nothing wrong with that. As said, full money, last round of the half, last chance, and Vitality, you'd think that this is as good as theirs. Misuta, how does he kill 3? What a spray in the Molotov. Very dependable. Vitality, a 13-2 would be a bonking if they can get it.
They're set towards B early on. This has normally been the recipe for success. Flash is nice. Going to get ZywOo off the angle. If he tries to go back, he's not going to like what he sees. Just exchanges the nade over in mid and then hops on out of there. Now posting himself over on the long side, trying to get Masuta down in the pit. This is hopefully going to free up Apex a little bit more, who's currently down in CT, to lend a helping hand in middle. He might need it. Apex dead right away, hopping around the corner. Last time he fell without getting a kill, that led to ForZe winning a round. This time the explosion, the quick ramp up of pace isn't there for ForZe. They drop into a very slow round now in the 5-on-4, trying to make this one happen. They need a third if they want to have any hope of pulling this one back.
Who's on the site, I ask? Who is waiting? It's Zywoo.
I mean, the bomb's still tunnel. Like, I don't even think this is the A play. Yeah, they're going to drop Jerry into CT, and he gets down with no one having seen it.
That's big, but they still have to cross, and they finally get the smoke down. One available, and it's at the perfect time. Still too strong at B. Magis, that's lovely. Gets the info at the peak. Is there any assistance here? Dupree has that cross. Magis takes a kill. Dupree next contact. He follows up. Almost 2. Getting his revenge. Zorti is on 10 health, and this half is done. Like it or not, it's 13-2 for Vitality. Fantastic round to close it out, despite ForZe having all the advantage and all the position. Vitality are here to play and here to long out this best-of-3 series to Mirage. They are simply moments away from that third map in the series. And ForZe have gone quiet on their map pick at the worst possible time. It's not just about losing this map, it's about losing it dominantly. You feel like you were never in. You feel like all that warmed-up play that you had on Nuke is gone. And it's Vitality carrying momentum to Mirage. Just a couple of rounds out.
Yeah, we questioned, if losing their map pick, even though it's a competitive bout, would that light the fire beneath them? And it certainly looks like it has here on Dust 2. A win in the pistol pretty much seals the deal that this is a 3-map series. I mean, even without it, it's still probably a 3-map series. Zywoo taking a peek in middle, just making noise. Making ForZe paranoid. There are only 2 inside of this A site. And luckily enough, they do win the cat engagement. Kenzie taps out another. It's clean in this pistol. Looking to keep 5 alive when all is said and done.
Sheesh.
And so ForZe at least get that under their belt, but it's still a long way to go before we even hype up this comeback out of ForZe.
Oh, but you never know. You never know. That's the beauty of Counter-Strike, Harry. Every game is winnable. Just take it round by round. Mental can be shattered. Vitality want those guns ASAP, so they just go for a quick eco. We'll have a buy in the third. Shalfie and Lower. Here to take names. But it's Vitality taking their sweet time. Let ForZe sit and sweat in the scoreline.
Yeah, Vitality, they're just kind of treating this like a bit of a timeout. They're not expecting to win this one.
Could be a good warm-up for Kenzie.
That's a good point. Like, if he gets a little mow down here, starts to feel a bit more faith, eco frags can do a lot to a man. And have a chance here. Tagged, lined up, and on for the ace. He's going to get all 5 of them as they emerge around the corner at long. Okay, out of all the ways to build a bit of confidence, there's nothing quite like an eco ace. Vitality don't have to be concerned yet. They're probably not even worried at all. No one's probably even thinking about the idea of a comeback. You never know what's happening until it's too late.
Yeah, exactly. That's the worst part. Come on, guys, just one more round. Just win a rifle. But this is where I expect Vitality to just come swinging. ForZe have read it. They've gone for the triple long. It's a good start. Smoke will stop any Molotov madness, and so, well, Vitality won't even take it. They'll peel back. But it's still without punishment, so they concede the position. But they have a whole round to play. Solo B on Shalfie, and no matter who it is and how good they are, that's always a liability on this map. As soon as Vitality figure that out, they will abuse it. Late cat smoke. As Vitality are re-mollied out of long. Apex sending Dupree back to the B-bomb site.
Yeah, lobbing in the Xbox smoke as well. Going to go up and over.
Just jump up from lower.
Trying to give him a helping hand and getting up onto the catwalk. That re-smoke at long, little problematic, right? Gonna have to wait till around.
Utility has been really good this round, but you know, Vitality is bleeding it out, and there's not much left. They've got HEs to try and dunk Vitality on this A site, and ForZe even taking Cat. This is a good time to do it. Fantastic HEs, and Kenzie's position is pretty prominent.
Yeah, Vitality might be getting out long.
Oh boy!
But it's this cat fight that could decide a hell of a lot in this round. 3 of them moving through this long smoke. ZywOo. He's going to open up with one into the site players. Is that going to be enough, though? Kenzie holding the line, refusing to let up. ZywOo's got no time to plant. Jerry, the man to close it. And I mean, now, you know, ForZe winning the first rifle, starting to build a bit more confidence up, right? Kenzie came into this second half with, I think it was like 2 kills to his name, now rising to prominence alongside the rest of the gang.
I'm not going to get worried off of one gun round that Vitality give a lot of respect to ForZe in, but that was really well played for ForZe. Like, they knew exactly what was going on the entire way. They stalled with every bit of util they could. The long doors re-smokes, the molly when the the Xbox smoke came down, the double nade on Cat, the position taken on Cat to stop that split. Everything was really clean for ForZe. It's their map pick, right? We expect them to be good. It's just, you know, the odds are against them, the score is against them, and a couple of well-placed rounds, a good call from Apex, a contact play that ForZe aren't ready to trade, and it can all come tumbling down very quickly. But that was a good round.
Yeah, it's weird, though, because, like, the one thing that is kind of a little... just in the back of my mind, right? I'm not saying it's going to happen. The thing that's in the back of my mind
We're all
is
thinking it.
that first half, a lot of it, the reason why I didn't feel like you were watching just a normal game of CS is because in a way you weren't. It wasn't like the same level of respect, the same level of, you know, both teams being allowed to kind of run their ideas. It was just full disrespect from Vitality, and that comes with a great deal of confidence, but there's no way to, like, artificially build that up. You know, that just kind of comes with the territory of you getting off to a hot start. Now they're actually getting pressured a bit. They have to kind of move away from that very confident mindset of, we can fight this, we can fight that, like, we're just better than them. That's kind of, you know, in these last few rounds, that's not really been the case. And so it's just, you know, can they move back to the more cut and dry, more standard ebbs and flows of a CS game? Out onto the short side, Masuta seems to think so. The Eagle to open. Kenzie will trade one. He needs to do a lot more than that, and he will hold the line with yet another mow down. In these A-side defenses, Kenzie's been the man, and with Zorti there to help him. It's another round on the board for ForZe.
Yeah, only pistols, but a couple of nice shots there out of the Deegs of Vitality. Still a lock-in round. I was a bit scared there. Kenzie peeked very late off his flashbang, but was still able to tuck in Goose, and they couldn't clean him out. Honks on their parade. But it's 13-6, and with every eco comes a following gun round. So Vitality leaning B. Beautiful start, right? We know Xiaofu has been alone here in this bomb site. Now it's Norvi. If Vitality smoke a molly and go for it, man, why not? Xiaofu, that's beautiful though. Norvi spams and they smoked the molly. They wanted to go, but he denies that first man in. And so back to the drawing board, back to a 3-on-5, and back to the T-spawn for Vitality.
Yeah, and you know, they tried something new here. They tried to just go for like a set strat out of spawn. Apex lobbed in this kind of like cool smoke that would extinguish a molly in the long doors, coupled it with a flash, and he did all that from T-spawn so that he could try, you know, keep it mobile and panic, you know, the long players. But ForZe didn't fall for it. And so you've tried, you know, you kind of spawn exec, your attempt to do something there after the defaulting didn't really work earlier. This one's not looking so hot either. Vitality with 3 are creeping up Cat, and they have found this gap. Right as Zorti has left this entirely, they've moved in. And they're going to get deep within the A site before it even dawns on ForZe that this could happen. A one and done there is really about as good as you could have hoped for Zorti, considering he didn't have that info wide on the angle as he went swinging out into that one.
It's Molly.
It's a 4v2 to decide if ForZe keep the rounds racking up. Do Vitality pull one out of the hat? Flashes at long. ZywOo wants to peek with this. Making a swing into CT, but as he does so, Kenzie emerges. And Magic's dead as well. Kenzie, since getting that ace, looks like a new man. Was nowhere to be found in that first half, and now he's risen to top of the board for ForZe in what feels like the blink of an eye.
Yeah, I think that ace got him from 5 to 10 kills, and now he's at 17. Unbelievable. Incredible recovery in just a few rounds. ForZe now on fire with 5 in a row. Yet to break the seal have Vitality on this T half. And with every buy comes an eco. What goes around comes around. Can't buy up again. Even with the bomb plant, not enough. They just want to get a half E with some util. They get to test ForZe again. A B rush denied in that round. And even Vitality getting a plant there is maybe more than they should be allowed, considering Zorti just got very unfortunate with his timings. We have a double orb, and Xiaofi is continuing to be aggressive. Last time he pushed up middle, and this time he's deep in tunnels, but can't go too far. I'll be able to trade it. So, nice shot, but can he escape? Yep, just about around the corner. Molly dropped, and Xiaofi lives. Vitality can't do much about it, and with 2 players at B, they now know, who can constantly cycle utility and keep this rush out of Vitality. It's going to send them back up Cat. Mid-smoke will help them. They still have to jump over it, though. And look who's here. El Verde Grande. Xiaofi won't see them get up. And so this is nice for Vitality. They have a chance, but there's still Zorti on the site.
And Kenzie doesn't have any like supportive utility, but just him being here and able to offer a helping hand is big. And Molly's divided the push. ZywOo gets ahead of it. Only one. He's traded afterwards. Jerry now playing inside of the site. Gonna duck on out of there. They are getting closer though. These pistols are moving in for the kill. Jerry with the mow down, and there's the support from Kenzie we talked about earlier. Catches them crossing, and now ForZe are getting animated. They're talking again. They're getting loud. They're believing in this comeback from a 13-2 half. They're making us believe.
It's kind of crazy that we're even here. Yeah, Vitality calling out their first tack timeout.
This is where, right, remember earlier we were saying, into the first try for one, we said, no one's thinking yet that this could go wrong. No one's thinking yet that ForZe are going to come back. That pause signifies that the mood has changed. And now they're going, okay, guys, let's just win this. We cannot let this one get away from us.
Well, you said earlier you can't artificially build confidence. Well, that's not screaming confidence. It's screaming a bit of nerves. And rightly so, right? Pause, definitely not a bad decision. Get Zonic in, coach of many years gone by. But even so, ForZe looking really solid on the CT side. The double AWP is devastating. Zorti gets 1 deke there, and that was the way in for Vitality, exploding off of that kill. But great util again has been the name of the game for ForZe. That Molly segregated the rest of Vitality from ZywOo out wide on Cat. ZywOo's gone wide out mid, but it's Xiaofi who might give up this 5-on-4. How does he hit that? And Magisk was not with him. He was holding up a tunnel in case it was a double push. It is a double push. 2 AWPs in mid. Both find a pick. And then suddenly they disappear.
It's just brutal right out of the gate, isn't it? And now, like, over the water long, you're hoping, Masuta. Nice. All right, well, best Zorti. Hard fight for him to have won, but are you ready for this? Masuta is! All right, little double on the long side. There's a third man, a third contestant, and Kenzie will win the grand prize, gets that trade onto Masuta. Still, there's another man, long bound. Apex, with that flash, has given up the aim of the game. They know he's out on the long side. Kenzie plays inside of the site. This guy so quiet in the first half. Now trying to save the day once again over in A. Shalfie's rotating middle. They've heard the footsteps. They know what's happening. While Apex is pushing the go button, Magisk is going back.
Nice.
They clear out Shalfie, clear out the AWP. Apex now responsible for this entry into the A bomb site. Instead, playing around this smoke. Going to start to lean away, give Magisk a bit of room. If he wins this, Vitality can turn it all around. If he falls, it gets so tough, it gets so rough, and Magisk just looks away. Now it is only Apex, 20 seconds, time is not his ally here. The one thing he's got going for him is this 1v1 is available, and he's going to get it. Now just Norvi left to beat, a long wrap, and there's Apex with the clutch, a double up from the captain of Vitality.
It was about time, wasn't it? He was the guy absolutely shredding ForZe in the first half, and he finally went quiet in this T side. He was getting picked first. He wasn't offering up much, but that was a lovely slowdown in the 2-on-3 for Vitality. They make it work. Beautiful shooting from Mizuta. That's how it even started. Like, this kill should never have come through onto Jerry, and Apex, he does him right. He does him just. 14 rounds for Vitality after 6 in a row from ForZe, but Shalfie has a response. Long spawn on his own as well, and he gets that pick to Magisk. ForZe, it's a bump in the road, but they keep driving.
Nades are nice. They're kind of giving this illusion that there's no one in tunnels, and once you spot that up, you definitely won't be ready for a second man here. Jerry's going to start to take a bit of space on his own, and it is getting pincered from the top of tunnels. ZywOo looking the wrong way, is shot in the back, and now they've cleared the tunnels. They know there's only one place that Vitality can be right now, and that's out here towards long. Shalfie, not wanting to waste any time with this, is taking fights right away. Using this AWP at range, it's going to do its best work here. In with one, but he's not content with that. They flash him in for another, putting on a show with this AW. He's going to close out the round. Phenomenal scenes as he picks up 4.
Who's the main AWP again? Someone remind me. Dude, since his first AWP, do you remember his first CT AWP? He did an Xbox smoke in middle, and he ran through it and picked Apex in top middle. So, yeah, he's full of confidence with this AWP. He's been lower, he's been upper, he's been on the A side, he's long picking. Shalfie's all over the place. One of the young'uns, one of the first major players for ForZe. Case for many of them. But, yeah. Smoke goes very deep on long, not what Vitality had in mind. ForZe can fight through it. The AWP can even help, but no one was going long anyway. It's a B upper hold with 4. Shalfie ready to uncrouch on contact. Doesn't want to get deeged. Norvi tucked in at car. Bottom performer for ForZe. We've seen recoveries from Kenzie, but Norvi, this is his round now. If Shalfie goes down, Norvi has to perform. You can't give Vitality guns and a sight.
Yeah, Shalfie can pick them off one at a time, but Norvi's the man needed for the spray. Oh, Shalfie with a double. Norvi's dead. Shalfie's the man to do it all. This up at the back of the site. In with 3. Needs to do even more than that, though, because his teammates have fallen all around him. Zorti moves in. It's a double AWP. Double AWP moving into this B site. Magisk threading the needle in between them. Up in the face of Shalfie, and he's now gone. Zorti left up in this. Doesn't know where Masuda is, where he's gotten to, and amidst all this downtime. Bomb still at B. Zorti moving in, not ready for Magisk. He's not considering it at all, looking the wrong way. Magisk has slipped him. Slipped one past the keeper and running in. Zorti's going to turn on a dime.
No idea.
A 1v1, but he's got no clue where Masuda could be. Going to check out the window, and he sees him, but Masuda wins it. Vitality, they pull up onto a 15th. They do it with that B rush, with the quick B play on pistols. In spite of Shalfie's best efforts, 3 from the back of the site, it's not enough.
I don't know what Zorti thought, where he thought Magisk went there, right? Like, he saw the bomb in the middle of the open. He knew Magisk was on the bomb site. There's only so far he could be. Very nice try, but we've had the Frenchman come in with a couple of clutches now in Masuda and Apex, and it has absolutely saved the bacon of Vitality. Great work from Magisk to even get them in that position. The entries out of the B tunnels were a necessity to set them up for the clutch. And my God, this has been a very stressful game for Vitality, but with a couple of rounds dotted in here and there on the T side, that's all they needed. It was meant to be a far quicker affair. Now ForZe face a 3rd map in the series. If they don't get 6 in a row to start the clock over. screaming Vitality more than ever, but this double orb has continued to take space all over the map. Xbox smoke misses, careful, but that's a B pick. Norvi again let down, he got nothing last round, and finally a missed shot. Sometimes that's all it takes. Mirage is loaded in the barrel. Vitality just have to pull the trigger.
Yeah, this is one of these rounds where if it wasn't up against map point, you'd be saving. So they're going to try and give it a go anyway, but they're very far removed. They're carrying flanks that don't exist, and it's wasting a lot of time off the clock here. By the time Kenzie's even in position, this bomb is going to be half-picked. At that point, you're doing this up-tempo. You're doing this as fast as you can, and a tag through the doors on Dezorti does not help by any margin. Magis playing for the round win. If all else somehow goes awry, he's going to be there to be the man stealing it away. It's never needed, not with ZywOo lining them up in the tunnels, and everyone else is locked out. They might try run him down, but Jerry's left running for the hills as Vitality take us the distance. In this series, we're going to Mirage.
This is exactly what we wanted. This is exactly what we needed. A third map in this series. There was a bit of fear somewhere in the middle of the map as we saw some fantastic rounds out of ForZe on their CT side, but as it always should have been after a 13-2 half, Vitality managed to close it out. Some clutch individual moments, the same sort of players we saw back on Nuke stepping up in a big way, plus Apex, right? He had so much impact on that CT side, coming in with just numerous bait and switches on B, on mid, multi-kills, openers, closers, clutches. We had so much to actually enjoy for Vitality, whereas it felt very dismaying on Nuke.
Yeah, I think there's so much to talk about. I can imagine our desk going to have a field day with this one. I guess the only way to find that out is just to throw it on back to them. What did y'all make of this?
We had a lot of fun watching that. Some Vitality fans were probably a little bit stressed that ForZe ended up making a little bit of a run for it at the end there, but a much better showing out of Vitality. And I think Apex is going to take up a lot of our time here because we gave him a hard time. Mathieu, you gave him a pretty hard time after Nuke, but this game I think also shows when it does go his way, what he can do.
Yes, night and day for Apex, honestly, if you compare Nuke to Dust 2. This time around, on the CT side mostly, he was always in the right position. He's had so many impactful multi-kills where he read the attack perfectly. Either was hiding towards middle, hiding towards the B side. Multi-kills on top. This time around, he's helping towards long. Obviously, that round right here, we are going to talk about it. That was a swing one. So props to Apex. He did exactly what I asked him to do. He bounced back from Nuke.
No, and he showed patience. I think on Nuke, there was a lot of stress situation where he overextended in duels. Here, he took his time. It was well executed pretty much every time we saw Apex on the screen. He had sick. This clutch especially.
That's a huge clutch as well, absolutely.
We're going to look at it again later as well. He's also the man of the match, and I think that is fitting. And there was such a stark contrast in the way that on Nuke, ForZe was able to always dictate the pace, always make the first move. And especially in the first half of this game, Vitality closed the door on them, right? That could have not just have been Apex, but what was kind of their system to avoid letting them come into the game?
Look, I think ZywOo was a huge factor. Huge factor in the beginning of this game. He quickly went up to 14 kills in about 6 to 7 rounds. He had a triple kill on the CT pistol. He mounted up the AWP and he punished ForZe when they attempted to play the A side very quickly. So if you're Jerry, it just feels like in about 10 minutes, your tactical tree has just reduced to like a branch. That's what you need. This is the only thing you can do is like play the B split because ZywOo was closing the A side.
And it's it's a little bit tilting these moments when you get B side for free and Apex is hiding, they're planting the bomb and he shuts you down. That's like a mental, you lose that round and you're a bit done.
It's a checkmate. It's a psychological checkmate.
Yes.
It's like the lessons taken from Nuke where you said, okay, ForZe is able to problem solve super quickly, come up with, okay, this is the riskiest road, but we're going to take it immediately and it's going to give us success. This time you have one side on lockdown. You have the other half of the team just making sure that they always catch the moves that you may make to the other side. And the door was closed. How much stock do we put into the fact that ForZe was able to build up a couple of rounds by the end, had a couple of clutches, had Zorte with some beautiful moments in terms of how hard they're taking this loss and what they can take into Mirage?
I think it's always like when you play Dust 2, especially the new version of Dust 2, the T side is extremely frustrating to play. It was already quite frustrating before.
Yeah.
Some teams were really, really strong on the CT side with the utility usage to block those execute, and you usually ended up in a very low amount of time. But now with this update, with pretty much CT owning Dark, they have full control over the midsection of the map. I think it's very, very difficult to regain that time loss that you need to spend grabbing the map control.
I think what we have seen from Vitality in that second half, which is basically a few individuals having brilliant moments. We had the Apex 1v2 on the A side. We had Magisk sneaking in the smoke on B. It kind of tells the story of what Dust 2 has become now. Very rarely do we see a T side absolutely, outplaying the opponents, having perfect execute. It's more about creating these 2v2s and then hoping that your individuals will make the difference.
And good for Vitality that their individuals were making the difference in this one. A couple of Apex rounds we want to look at. He'd be really angry if we didn't also show the good moments.
We have to.
Aside from the bad ones. Round 22. That was a beautiful clutch, Maniac.
Yeah, I have a problem remembering what we are looking at. Oh, this is the madness round. Yes, it is.
Crazy.
It's the beautiful aggression from ForZe at the very beginning. It's the 2 entry kills. Mizuta doing gut work right there with that double entry on the A side to try and put them back together in a 3 versus 3. He's going to be punished quite quickly. But still, the 2v3 is aptly played. You can see how Magisk is punishing that attempt at regaining some information. And something that Apex is doing this round, which he hadn't done in the entire of the first map, is take it easy. Take it slow. He plays it nice and well. He's got time. He knows the CT is hiding behind the Gandalf box. And look at this. He's still walking, still watching. And then here is the Vista. That's the intuition. If he hasn't picked me short, he's long. Headshot beautiful 1v2.
Yeah. Beautiful finish. Nice to see.
No, it's great to see him step up and be the leader and really take charge of the team and show how possible it is, because he's not known to be the strongest individual player on the team, right? And when he can produce these numbers, it's going to elevate the rest of the team coming up into Mirage.
It's the ideal scenario. But how is it usually that they like to win games? Because I don't often or always see Apex at the top of the scoreboard, but I always see him having his impact, right?
Sure.
So on Mirage, is this going to be the same game plan?
I think on Mirage, we can see Apex have very great games. I think his position is also kind of poised to be involved in a lot of duels. And this is, I want to say, the flip coin for Vitality. It's like if we get the good Apex who actually gets these multi-kills, who reads the game, who's one step ahead of Jerry, knows where he has to be and where he needs to find the impact, perfect. If we see Nuke Apex struggling a little bit, maybe not finding his timing, crossing smokes but he shouldn't, could also be a liability.
In terms of the identity of the map, of course, Mirage does feel a little bit more like Dust 2 than Nuke did, right? So there's going to be a big task up for Jerry. We're going to take a look at a couple of highlights, but when we come back, we are going to talk at length about Mirage and how ForZe can craft a plan to beat Vitality, or see if Vitality will grab their Legends spot.
To succeed in this game, you need to invest in yourself. Be daring. Innovate. Calculate. Never hesitate. Follow your instincts. Don't follow the crowd. Back yourself. Bank your wealth. Analyze, strategize, and galvanize. Now is the time. Take your shot.
Esports is what we live and breathe. For us, it's more than a game. It's a reality, where a group of letters can mean everything. Where Mirage is a place for bombs, battles, and glory, not an illusion. Where the true heroes are those in front of the screen. GG Bet. This is real.
We know this man is very good at working with new players, but does he have hidden talents in map design? Yes, it's time for the map design challenge. I've got Jerry, the in-game leader for ForZe, with me now. Jerry, how do you feel about your drawing skills?
I don't know. It's kind of hard because you just asked me about drawing, right?
Yeah.
So my drawing is like 0 level. So I will try to increase it to 1. I don't especially remember the name, but I will try to. So let's go. We will start with the big circle.
Circular map. This is the first circle we've had in the design challenge, so I like this already.
Yes, but the circle is just the first step because...
Oh.
Yeah. Because we will need some areas.
I like it, good. Oh, we've got little water currents.
Oh, something like that.
He can draw, it's lovely detail.
So, the thing is, the city spawn, it's like not a big square. I will not draw it till the end, but the thing is, and we will have a ladder over here.
So people could, like a bridge that people can go over the river. Oh, we're going upstairs.
Yes.
Oh, it's a moat.
We have for the B side over here, but to go here, let's say we have 2 entries. Say we have entry over here, and let's say we can go like upstairs somewhere here. It's like a, I would say, ladder. And T-spawn can go directly over here and go through the roof window. There is another ladder over here, but just towards the side. So in this thing, it's gonna be wooden. So you can have all the B side to shoot through this upstairs. So CT, if they want to retake, they need to double molo here and here.
So you can as you go from spawn to spawn. You do have this cheeky rotation here.
Yes, exactly. That's why I need here and here some, you know,
some cover.
Little buildings or coverings, yeah. So we can try to do, for example, the little house over here.
Mm-hmm.
So we can go through here and here. There is some windows. And here we can do some kind of plateau upstairs.
Platform? Yeah.
As well, it's level 2 upstairs. And we will have some boxes over here. I got some ladder here. We will do a window over here. And we need more structures. So we can use utility nades to go, for example, here. So we can look for the upstairs, the guys who goes from T-spawn to up from roof. And I want some cover here. So if you can take it from city, you can see the whole rotation from this side. We need to do pier over here. And it's going to be the...
So that's like a boathouse, potentially?
Yes, boathouse, exactly. So we need to take another side A as a boathouse, so we get the CTs to get fast here and here. So what do we have? We have boathouse with some abandoned cars. We can do rocks like over here, so it make it more harder to go to see all the rotation.
Whereabouts is this map set? We didn't decide, did we?
It could be Georgia, Morocco, because I just think we need, you know, there's a background thing with mountains and things, so we are like just almost inside the canyon. So it could be a quarry actually, but we needed then to do some really, well, for this one it could have been a rock station when you know, break the rocks.
A quarry?
Yeah, quarry.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
But after that we can we can explain what is this station. It's going to be like a building with some techniques inside, yeah?
Yep.
Because I'm not able to draw
Forklifts and things. I love that there's so much thought going into this, Jerry, but what is the map going to be called?
I'm thinking about Circle Death or something like that. It's kind of strange.
Circle of Death. DE Circle of Death.
Circle Death already.
Death Circle.
Yeah, could be like that.
Do you want to call it that?
Yes, let's do
Okay,
it like that.
write it down, make it official then.
Let's
DE Death Circle. Good. Oh, and you got to sign it. You got to sign your work. Make sure no one steals the rights to your map when it goes into the game and makes theirs. Thank you so much. Congrats. And also, good luck with the rest of the major.
Welcome back, everyone. We're gearing up for Mirage as Jerry, I think, is trying to be a circle of death or a death ball towards Vitality on this one. He was going to, you know, he had to draw. That's why we still have time. So, no, it's not true. They are taking a little bit more time because, of course, this is the decider. The decider map for these two teams. Who is going to take that Legends spot? So, we are on to Mirage. Mathieu, you told me that Vitality's Mirage was bad. They've put a lot of work into it, and now it's better. What was it first, and where do they shine now on this map?
I think just historically, to set the scene, the duo, the Danish duo, Magisk and Dupree coming in, notoriously did not put a lot of effort and really mastery into Mirage in their careers, right? That was a map Astralis didn't really play too much. They come in here. Vitality, on the other hand, had played the map, but I don't think they had figured out exactly how they wanted to play. So you ended up with a core of 5 players who were trying to find the light in a very dark Mirage. They didn't really know, but it has come to fruition. There's nothing we can say against that. The last 4 times we've seen them play, it's a very tight loss to FaZe, to Na'Vi, and there's wins after that against Mouse and Astralis. It really feels like they're on the up and up, and they figured out their identity.
Yeah, the one thing for ForZe you could mention is they do play the map a lot. They like the map, and they have actually beaten ENCE on that map, 16-14 win. So that is one little tidbit that could go into ForZe's favor, but we saw a very, very dominant Mirage previously against Astralis. Yeah. So it's going to be a very, very tough task for them.
And you were very harsh on Mirage when it came out that that would be the decider map. You don't like it at all.
I don't like it.
Why is that?
It's one of these maps where I think there's not a lot of creativity to expand the play style, the
meta, I guess.
Yeah, the meta. It's already developed in some way.
The reason why I ask you this is because I want to go back to kind of what it has come down to, right? You had the individuals on Vitality really stepping up on the previous map on Dust 2. We had ForZe doing the same, but on Nuke. And we saw a lot of problem solving coming out of Jerry. But this is not necessarily a map in which you can think outside of the box so much. So might that be a column in kind of the difficulty and the adversity for ForZe on this one?
I think there's 2 things to look at. I think, yes, you can't be that creative, but they like simple solutions. They like very hard, aggressive styles, and that works very well on Mirage. Whilst I think the key component for Vitality would be to try to stop that, negate that, good utility usage, good flash plays, and yeah, that will make it difficult.
If we want to put the scope on a Vitality player for 1 second, it has to be Misuta for multiple reasons. First of all, you look at 2022, you only look at Mirage, and Misuta is the lowest rated player for Vitality. That's a 0.8. It's a very, very low number. But then you look at the game versus Astralis, and suddenly he comes alive. He's got these multi-kills, he locks down the B side, he retakes on A. Now, are we going to get that Misuta? Because suddenly, Vitality look way more balanced across the board.
Looks completely different. Apex there lounging in the Secret Labs chair, who is the official chair sponsor for this event as well. So for Vitality, Maniac, you were talking to me in the break a little bit about their setup. Can you share it with the viewers? What is Vitality's setup on Mirage?
So what we should expect is obviously the man that we have on our screen right here. Misuta is going to be doing the fair share of the work on the B side. He'll be anchoring. He's going to get some help from Dupree, who's played that catwalk position. Saiwu is going to sometimes start window with the AWP, but we know he'll move around. And then you're going to have Apex and Magisk on the A side. That used to be a duo that was very fragile when they started playing Mirage. First of all, Magisk had to discover a little bit how the meta was updated, I guess, on the A side, and Apex had to find his rhythm. It looked much better recently, but that's still the duo that I would keep an eye on.
Yeah, it's also the hardest, in my opinion, one
like
of
to
the
play the A side?
hardest sites to anchor in the entirety of Counter-Strike.
It's quite chaotic.
Because of that, like, once they smoke, top con, they can go upstairs, and depending on the rotation and the pressure from the T side, you're kind of being left on an island on A side where they can both poke you from A apps and slope. So we gotta have to keep an eye on that because ForZe are gonna take some timings.
And it circles back to the conversation about communication for Vitality. And we know, and we hear them. Look at this. This is ForZe getting ready right now.
Well, I got hyped because of that. Yeah. That was great.
We talk about the communication for Vitality being obviously sometimes an issue. They went from being both Danish and French speaking to now English. That also comes into play when Magisk is on that A side. And when shit's going down, for lack of a better word, then they have to immediately update each other as to what's happening. I got you. They can be there. This is where the communication can be an issue.
And I love that now we have arrived at this point, and it's about these journeys for both of these teams and now these big tests, right? For the side of ForZe, before that, people saying, can they take down a top team, yes or no, because we haven't seen it yet. They can shut people up now. Not just that, book their ticket to the Legend stage. And in terms of the development for Vitality, the aspirations that this roster has, the possibility that this roster has, this is, I think, one of those key moments because you are now expected to win, actually. You have done very well on this map. You are versus a lower-rated opponent, Devil. So there's a lot up in the air, and there's probably a lot in the hearts and in the brains of these players now.
No, I think so. But the more the pressure is mounting, I still favor ForZe in the mental game in this map.
You do?
I really do. Even though they come out from a victory on Dust 2, I thought it became a little bit shaky at the end. And I do have some hope for ForZe on Mirage.
Ooh, Maniac.
It's small. I'll go for Vitality, of course. I wonder.
Quelle surprise!
Quelle surprise! Everyone is short, gasping noise. No, I just like the likes of Kenzie, Zorti, Norway. When was the last time you were almost qualifying to the Legends?
Oh,
you know, they have to show it right now.
That's true.
That's a great moment. That's a defining moment in their career. On the side of Vitality, they've played that multiple times.
I see.
Side of ForZe, they
you
still
can
have to do
only,
it.
like, if you haven't gotten the opportunity, you can't take it.
And they can do it right now, right
They
here.
can do it right now, ForZe. We'll see, because Vitality is in their way. Take it away.
Ah, yes, thank you very much. I'm Harry, and yeah, we got a banging one here, right? It's going the distance, going all the way to Mirage. This is where the ForZe squad going to try and pull it back. I don't think it's working, Hugo.
It doesn't work.
No, it looks all right, but we almost had him. We almost had him. I don't know. It's a mixture. My arms are massive. I'm a tank of a human being.
All right, rub it in.
Yeah, no, dude, this has been super exciting so far, right? For ForZe, I actually think they have a pretty good chance here on Mirage. They've got some legit wins, man. I'm talking victories over the likes of Ents, Big, a couple of other big squads here, even close games versus the likes of Na'Vi. So I think you'd be surprised just how much resilience they're going to be able to give Vitality. I like that Maniac kind of homed in on someone like Masuta here to keep an eye on and how key he is to these Mirage victories. Let's see, though. We've gone the distance. It's a full 3-map series to decide who's going to be getting Legend status out of ForZe or Vitality. And it opens with a quick B play in the pistol.
Yeah, just flying through. Norvi hasn't been spotted. That's a quick tap. Zywoo gone. They're going to try wide swing him. Dupree does trade. Another B site's been lost through the smoke. No chance. As Mizuta was watching that down. Dupree firing bursts and bullets to the head. Zorti on 1 health. as now this round gets converted shortly. The late flank for Jerry is simply too late to be of any impact. And Vitality on the board, on their T side, looking for their third map on Mirage in a row.
Yeah, that's in amidst the sea of kind of, close games, but never quite victories. They finally started to what feels like find their footing here on this map. So I do think that gives a far more exciting closer. Already opening with the pistol, Vitality are keen to repeat their success from Dust 2.
Yeah, I mean, we were worried about this possibility for ForZe after they moved away from the more tactical Nuke, where it definitely seemed like they were just making the better calls. They had the better T side. They were rumbling Apex's feathers. Then we go to a very loosey-goosey map of Dust, where the individuals just carry Vitality through, and they look to do the same again here on Mirage. Mizuta, a big part of that win versus Astralis, as the desk were putting it just the other day on this map. Double entry out ramp. All Scout saw something, but won't take their head, and it might just have to be the save. Give it up, go home. Vitality 2-0. Meanwhile, Harry, shears have been dead, tears have been shed, and pick'ems have been dead, as IHC managed to pick up their first dub up against the Renegades, 2-0, eliminating the Aussies from the major, and putting them down 0-3.
Yeah, sad way for it to go, right? Pretty poor tournament as a whole from the Renegades, man. I think even looking at like the RMRs, they kind of struggled their way through that, right? It was surprising that IHC were the ones to come through first anyway, and that just kept up as we got into the major itself. I don't think they're going to be happy with the results of this one. I can imagine there's going to be some pretty big talks at the end of it all. But yeah, man, no one wants to be that first team going down 0-3. We did get our answer, and we're going to have more answers. 9Z taking on Team Liquid, who I think, that's a pretty interesting one going over on the B stream, especially the fact that Liquid are even in that position. If you think it's kind of disappointing for Renegades to go 0-3, imagine if that fate befell the Liquid squad.
Yeah, definitely. Why be 0-3 when you can be 3-0? That's where we are right now in this last map to see who's going to be going through to the Legends stage. Vitality running amok in middle. We got a Zeus on Shalfie as well. He's coming up on Catwalk, maybe. Oh, why'd you peek? They were coming to you. Magisk just runs him down with a Mach 10. And this is the round. Good as done. Vitality even have the A site. So Apex looking for some backstabs perhaps. Nice catch for Kenzie. But again, the flank is being Vitality on for a third round. Very loose round right now. I'm enjoying watching this. ForZe not going to get given much respect, and that was the way the Vitality did it on Dust as well. Obviously, it was the CT side that they went 13-2 up on. ForZe now at least have that benefit of the defense here, more than often favored. What you want to get out of the way first. And we've seen these AWPers have been incredible. These CIS AWPs, always known to be some of the best in the world. Dupree, he's running out ramp, man. Just complete aggression for Vitality. And if only he got that opening kill, this round would have fallen apart at the seams.
Oh, Jerry, though, you are very blind, my friend. Backed into a corner now. Just going to try stay alive. He's helped out by Shalfie, and now he's keen to go back into the fight. He's never out of it, is this guy. Suitor, even though he's good for the trade, it's still a 3-on-4 where he really is wounded. Magisk is trapped in at Tetris as well, and ForZe have got this info. Norvy's taken up position inside of the site, tucking himself into where his IGL took a bullet. And Vitality are just going to write this one off. They're going to fall away from the A-side aggression. Probably the right call to make after how this one has gone early on, right? Apex and Dupree get lit up. And they're just going to go silent, even for a bit. Might all end in a recommit back into this A play, right? But it just cuts off this flow of information that ForZe had. If you followed through, you were going into a 3-man stack site, you're hoping that this big period of silence is going to put a seed of doubt in the minds of ForZe, and they might over-rotate away. Not the case. They're still 3 strong here, and Novi, even peeking ramp, has now dropped the bomb. That's the round, probably. And now definitely, Masuta dead, swinging through Palace. They get cut down by Zorti's AWP. And so ForZe right on the board. The rifles come out, the AWP's in play, it's all there, and they get there first.
Yeah, like that, they just tuck in. ZywOo did a really good job of selling that cat fake, right? He put the, not the hinge smoke, like the corner smoke on catwalk up, molly window, flash con. Looked like he was going up short side, and ForZe had no info, but the problem is the bomb got dropped on ramp right before ZywOo made contact, so ForZe knew exactly where that one was going. Or back in spawn again, and ooh, they're coming in big. Magisk might just swing him out of power, support the open, gets a shot, and gets out. Even pre-nades Magisk, who won't go out, he won't rush it just yet, waiting for the smokes to land. Boost over, if you try and cross into triple or plant open, you're in a problem position. Dupree will die. Apex has to plant default from the back of the boost. He knows they're close. Through the smoke, in they go. Jerry running amok. Good trade, but I don't know if there's the manpower here for Vitality. ZywOo has to do some quick click, and he's already missed the first one. Follow-up won't connect, and ZywOo's already looking to save. He wants to give the AWP another go, and with a default plant, there's simply nothing to do for ZywOo.
Bomb has been defused. Counter-terrorists win.
Yeah, the idea that, you know, you're going to be able to replicate some of these very confident, very kind of fast rounds that you had back on Dust, where everything was clicking. I don't think it's going to be as easy here on ForZe. I would argue that this is a really good third map for the ForZe squad to find themselves on, in spite of Vitality's recent successes here. It's always been a map that ForZe like. Yeah. So they're more than comfortable. They're going to have a lot of ideas, and I think there's a lot more that Jerry can look to do in terms of, you know, calling some smooth rotations, getting in the head of a guy like Apex a little bit more.
I will be interested to see how it pans out, because I feel like when I think ForZe Mirage, I think back to 2 players who are no longer in this team, how incredible Flick can be on that con side, and Z-Power's CT AWP, and just how explosive that's been in so many online matches gone by. Obviously, neither of those players still in this team, and, you know, for Flick, brought out, for Z-Power, you could argue upgraded onto Zorti, who can definitely do it on both halves, who doesn't go stone cold on the T side like Z-Power often did. So, you know, have the other additions, have the latest players got the depth that these old guys did? Vitality, right now 2 of them fairly inexperienced in comparison to the rest. Running out of ramp, they've got the util down. Shalfie's behind triple, waiting for the right time to strike.
He'd love to get set up with a flash, but instead peeks it dry. Good for the double, but 4 ZywOo trades. They're cut down. Shalfie and Jerry, man. Valiant A-hold out of the 2 of them here. And Zorti's even willing to go blow for blow with ZywOo. Wins that fight through the lip of the smoke. Peeking top ticket was never even needed. Kenzie gonna lock in that final one. And so immediately we arrive at a tie game now. The money broken for Vitality. ForZe are looking to leapfrog into an early lead here.
In Dust 2, it felt like ForZe weren't ready for the chaos that Vitality brought, right? With some of the crazy triple setups on bomb sites, some of the aggression from Dupree in upper tunnels, the Masuta out long doors, but they're already looking more primed for chaotic rounds in this game, right? Like the hide behind triple for Shalfie. As soon as he gets 2, Jerry's insta swings. There's no, you know, respect. There's no hesitation. There's no patience for ForZe. They're happy to all fight in the open. Oh my god! Thank God, Zorti got that off before his teammate walked into his crosshair. That one's an elbow. Apex about to have thin limbs if these shots connect. Oh! How about a face reduction? Zorti gets deeged. Shalfie tries to escape, but try being the operative word, as Magisk doesn't let him succeed. Norway needs to stop running because Magisk is coming. Oh, almost another deeg. But ForZe will take that anti-eco 4-3, keeping AKs as well. They can afford the AWP. Vitality coming in with yet another buy, including the big green. But right now, ForZe are certainly looking primed.
Yeah, 100%, man. It's good that Zorti got to have this AWP from the get-go and still has it in play as well. I think getting him properly activated, having someone to keep ZywOo on the back foot is going to be a pretty big deal. Struggled to get much done in these early rounds. Jerry even pushing lower. He does like to do this. That's something you're going to have to keep an eye on, right? He's a bit wild when it comes to this mid-area. Jerry's not afraid to take risks here. Play with guts and go for these lower tunnel pushes. He's out there as quick as he arrived. So middle now has a bit of a void in it that Vitality might look to fill. The bomb still back in T-spawn, still pretty undecided as to where this is ending up. His smoke for Apex is less than ideal, and dying after the fact is just salt in the wound. He's going to be feeling a little rough after that one.
Oh dear, it could get worse. Dupree, he gets spammed through the con smoke. They saw him on the minimap at least. ZywOo does kill Jerry out through Palace, but his teammate at ramp dies, and both these Vitality players have to regroup and pick the bomb back up. It's a reset to middle. But it's not like ForZe have given this position up this round. Kenzie's still fighting for it. Shalfie's over the top of the fence. Drop and ladder, rather. And ZywOo waiting on that smoke just in case. But Shalfie ready to swing on Kenzie's contact. However, he's backed up to check the window cross. And so there's a bit of a window. There's a bit of a timing for Vitality to get up Cat. Oh, back turn though. Kenzie takes that contact and now Shalfie can activate. Smoke in the way right now, but Masuta's walking into an AWP. He saw it, but Zorti's quick. And ForZe find 5 in a row off the back of Vitality converting their pistol.
I mean, already any Vitality fans out there could be getting a little nervous. You know, this isn't the most inspiring start once the guns have come out. A lot of these attempts at getting openers, right? You've been pretty brazen with it if you're Vitality. Guys like Dupree not afraid to just run at ForZe. But it's not really netted the results you've been hoping for. The openers have been few and far between. This round, it's fast through Con. It's a clean tap for Jerry. It's even more down here in middle. Good deagle for Dupree. This is the window jump. Probably doesn't want to go back to it now that the sound cue's there. However, what options do you have left? Smoke in the top of Con, but a tag before all is said and done. Dupree tries to get back in the window.
Oh, watch out. Shalfie really wants to go back for more with his second AWP. ZywOo's crossed on B, but he still has to drop and make noise. Norway, no idea. Oh my god, freebie for ZywOo. He nails that. You wouldn't. Catches Norway on the bench, and now he's got a gun to play with. There may be low health for Vitality, but headshots negate all of that. Shalfie scoped up. ZywOo might have heard it, but it doesn't matter. A headshot favor is returned. The missed shot from Shalfie, and Dupree grabs the gun that ZywOo once owned. Apex trying to stick it default, but they're all coming through.
Dupree, all on you now, and he's dead after one. Jerry there to close. Oh, the kills coming from just 2 players in this one. It's Shalfie and Jerry lighting them up. Able to deliver that round up against the pistols. It certainly got close for a moment, right? There was a chance there for Vitality thanks to ZywOo opening up that B site. But the response was good. It was pretty clean. The trade work was there. They just ran into the site. The moment they heard that bomb going down, they knew they had a 3-on-1 versus Dupree at bench. He either needed some incredible sequence or that one was just always going to be a ForZe round. I think it's already kind of clear, you know, like the missteps are feeling like they're few and far between right now for ForZe. On Dust, there were a lot of glaring problems early on. But this one, they're looking in control of it. And we have a very early tack pause out of Vitality.
Yeah, got to get on this quick, right? And, you know, the other side to Vitality, yes, recent results have been good. Last couple of games have come through. But in terms of depth, right, even for having a coach like Zonic, it's like, you know, Astralis never played this map. We all know that. It's the narrative we run with for the core of this team, for at least 3 out of 6 parts. And you wonder about the depth, whereas you know Jerry's been playing this map for as long as he's been in ForZe, over 5 years. So there's no question on depth in this roster. This is Jerry trying to hide his barrel, I guess, hide his skin. He knows his lineups, doesn't want his backpack to show. And a beautiful flashbang comes from Zorti, and he just eviscerates Apex. That's super sick. That's something you've done in a private server to make sure your model doesn't stick out.
I get the feeling, because some players looking at the wall there, but I think your kind of like shoulders stick out, if that makes sense. Whereas when you're looking up, your model's manipulated, and so he's thin enough to actually fit in there with like no risk.
What a nerd.
Yeah, and it's all time with that flash peek as well. These are the little ideas, the little gimmicks that can steal you around. You find yourself questioning, do Vitality have?
Yeah, what can they fall back on when these T-side rounds aren't working, when they aren't coming together? Because they haven't won a gun round yet. And so we still have that question mark. A 5-on-4. ForZe seem ready. That's a good spam, but it's going to force a play out of Magisk. He goes through the smoke. Ramp player just has to gamble. The ramp is clear. Back turned on the Tetris. Kenzie mollied out. It's all on Shalfie.
Oh, even tagged in the molly. Now they know that someone's taking a peek over here in jungle. There's a double-pronged approach to trying to hold on to this one. Everyone coming out of the con side. Kenzie swings. They do manage to get over the stairs. Now it's more like a ramp take, trying to get past this orb in the jungle. Easier said than done. Goes back in for more.
They know.
That's where Masuta finds him. They know that Kenzie was here as well. Plant now coming in. It's default for CT. Kenzie, 1v2 on his plate. Masuta and Magis, the two to try and beat. It's a big ask. They know where he is, up on the stairs, and they go swinging. They go hunting. Masuta might have been low, but still locks that round in. A big one for him, right? A multi-kill out of Masuta, and it goes a long way.
Yeah, that's a 4-on-5 as well, off the back of this play and low. A really, really nice play. No time to dodge that flash. Shalfie gets overwhelmed at ramp, but it's the molly tick that ForZe never capitalize on. They throw a flash at 4 blinds Dupree. He fires his entire mag before Kenzie even swings. Obviously, he doesn't want to run into bullets there, but yeah, there were a couple of players blinded on the con side. Instead, they just cross in, and Kenzie only gets one of them. Couple of opportunities blundered for ForZe. Fast up cap for Vitality on a AAA deep lean. So this is nice. They're going to completely avoid the setup. It's only Norvi at B. Was the quieter player on the B anchor of Dust 2. Going to do it alone again. Jerry gets picked pushing Palace. Norvi's been warped out of the round. Shalfie's here in time, but he can't swing wide because Zywoo had him from short. So had to take onto Masuta. Does fall, and Zywoo closes. That's far better for Vitality. A lot of ways that can go wrong, but they win fights on both sides, and Zywoo is there to shut it down. Finally up to 5 now, and breaking the money of ForZe while they get there.
If you're a fan of scanning QR codes, I bet you've already done it. But if you're not, you can scan that, and that's how you buy tickets to the major.
Yeah.
That's right. You can have an easier path there than either one of these squads. They're having a battle for the privilege.
Pay to win, IMO.
It's all up on Shalfie, man. It's the only thing in this round. Putting a lot of faith in him to get something done with it.
Quite an investment, but Shalfie's just been rootin', tootin', shooting all series long, especially with his second orb.
Dude, A was left clear entirely early on. They lent really heavy into this B stack to like play around this AWP. Vitality are now starting to discover it. Starting to uncover the truth that this A bomb site's looking pretty empty. And so any hope of this AWP being the thing that plays into the round and actually carries this impact to find it for ForZe, kind of out the window. Vitality have cleared all this space. They know that A is empty. They know they're walking into a free bomb plant, and now the alarm bells start to go off with Apex deep up CT. ForZe know this is a done deal. Weren't really planning to win it unless it ended up in a B play. With that not happening, with Apex going on that big clear of the A bomb site, he's safeguarded a 6th round for his squad.
Yeah, I mean, they never really had A. They left it very early, so it's a shame. But at the same time, it's not a surprise. Vitality see the AWP on Cat, they just walk into A. They just find the gap. They want to completely avoid it. They know this isn't a full buy for ForZe, and that this is likely one of, if not the only gun they have. So it would have been nice to either see the stack on the other side, or Shalfie to just try and reposition. Go back to CT, hold for an aggressive player. But at the same time, the double save, no problem. Gets the AWP, or not even double save, just the single save. Gets away with it, brings it into what is now a gun round, and can even give it over to Zorti, or they just double AWP. because it is CT Mirage after all. That is the play. 6-6, very balanced. This is nice because Dust 2 was not close. It was not competitive until it felt like it was too late. And Nuke, well, that was a banger, and that was back and forth all the way along. No favorite here just yet, but that will certainly help.
Okay.
Bot.
Yeah, Dupree, a spam and a prey, all it takes to keep ForZe at bay. Apex even opens up out through the ramp side, Palace side rather. Zorty just misses that timing. We'll go back the second time around, makes it look easy, like he planned to do that all along, but they're way deeper than ForZe are ready for. Norvy's caught throwing smokes. Dupree saw the barrel there. He knows that something weird's going down in the window, and he hears Zorty running away. Now both these AWPs are trying to save inside of the B site. Dupree, he wants to do something about that. You can't save, not with the Danish taxman up in the apartments.
Or will they dodge or will they evade? That's the question. One is okay. One is not going to let Dupree be happy. Zorty with a shot, takes down Magis. They've seen them in apartments. Usually getting thrown in. It's worthwhile losing guns for this kill, knowing how AWPs can be so influential. Shalfie running through the smoke, and that's perfect for Apex. That's all he ever wanted. Almost found the second, but a kill is a kill, man. They sacrificed 3 players, and it was worth every penny. So now Vitality take the lead back, and all we have is once again a single AWP into a half buy with pistols, SMGs, whatever ForZe can put in. It's not going to be a lot.
Vitality going for an alien just right out of the gate. A call from Spawn. Now, Zorty has pushed all the way through lower tunnels with the AWP, and the rest of the gang are up on short. At this point, they know it's not the B play. They've got that much affirmed thanks to the lower tunnels control. It's an all-in A-side execute. Jerry, a one and done would be great here, but they're not making it easy for him. He's burning in the mollies, having to tuck himself in. It's utter chaos as ForZe have lobbed smokes of their own. Now flashing through them. Finding kills on either side. It's a 4-on-4. Damage done to both teams, but right now Vitality still the ones in control. They can decide to back out if they want. They didn't like what they saw there. This is going to leave them a little limited in terms of throwing an exec, right? You've got one smoke on Masuta. That is the extent of it. But if you're quick here, if you're speedy, the timing is going to be good enough for them to get into this B bomb site.
Yeah, ForZe didn't want to outread themselves, but in doing so, they've remained still statues on this A site, and Vitality are so confident. They are knife out jumping into B initially, knowing they've got a good timing to take this site. Maybe there's a player in there, but it's pretty clear that it's clear. So 8 rounds to Vitality as ForZe are going to be forced to save an AWP and maybe this AK on Apex's body. Well worth the back out there for Vitality. Like you said, they saw enough pistols, enough smokes to come through that it had to be a stack for ForZe. And on Eco, very common as well.
Yeah, you know, and I think like even when Apex like swings out of the palace here, like what is he greeted with? It's not the lovely smoke wall that's gone in and everything's fine. It's a collection of smokes that you didn't throw that cover a path into the bomb site. It's flashes raining through. He like, it's like that gif of the dude just walking into like everything on fire, you know, like with pizza boxes. I don't know what that's from. I don't really watch anything.
Yeah, I know.
But you know, he just walks in. He's like, well, this is cooked, and then he tells everyone to go ahead and leave. He gets like the kind of like eye test of, nope, this looks horrible, and everyone else just reroutes out of the danger.
He's been doing a great job of finding gaps on this T-Star. I even think about that last eco where ForZe stacked B. They saw the AWP because Dupree got picked on off Cat, and then Apex walks up Con and completely empties the A site. They've been using him as like a roamer, right? A guy trying to figure out where the enemy stack is, where the gaps are. Lower play denied. Zorty will still hit Basuta though, also from lower. That was up the stairwell, so now he's sort of trapped out, and they can box him in if they want. I'd love to see them try, but it is an AWP. They'd rather just avoid it. Take that bomb back to the A side. How does that volley miss? That's so unfortunate for ZywOo, and it blocks him in. He has to peek, and Kenzie finds him. That's super unlucky for ZywOo. Not a mistake you see often, but just has carved a path into A, and he knows Jerry's spawn.
Oh, that's clean. That's a lovely opener. There's a second man in comp. Magic sees him.
What?
They can't win that fight. Zorti's pulled it back into a 2-on-2. Smoking Con, Zorti's got to go through it. If he waits for that, the round is gone. Shalfie deep in CT and a must-win engagement going his way. Leaves it all on Dupree. 50 seconds. He's still got time on his side. Going to start to creep on forward. Looking for this AWP. A missed shot out of Zorti. And now Dupree's got him boxed in. Trapped in a corner. And he will flush that AWP out of the round. Now Shalfie all the way back in CT, but Dupree's getting tricky with it. Up onto the short side. Now spots him. The spray connects and Dupree wins it. The 1v2 goes the way of this guy. Apex is on his feet, making sure he gets that fist bump. As Dupree carries them through to another round.
Oh, you love it when they're this energetic, man. This is not the Apex we had to start the day, not the Apex from Nuke, and not the vitality from map 1 of this series either. The fact that Dupree even takes that fight instead of just running catwalk when he knows he has the timing, he knows he has the gap. He reads the swing and he wins it despite a bit of a whiffed spray at the start. It's perfect. It's another round. It's a 9-6 T side. It's all you can ask for. Vitality just trying to run over ForZe and go 3-0. It feels within reach, more so than ever before in this series. We need a banging pistol out of Jerry and the boys. Molly, he can throw this into window or con. Window one's a little more finicky. Here it is. Let's see if he lands it. He has a lineup. There it goes. But Magis is not waiting. Classic ex-Astralis fashion. Up top mid with Dupree, but both dead and only 2 for 1.
Yeah, it started off great. It looked like it was going to be so good. But ForZe, they swarm these mid players. Masuta, bloody hell.
Crikey.
They saw him. Zorti's like, nope. You think you're being sneaky right now, but you're not being sneaky, Masuta. They know exactly what you're doing. And they're saying, mate, you can go and clear B. In fact, we encourage you to do that. Go all the way for a week here. We're right behind you.
This is
insane. B's clear, is it? Oh, you're telling everyone that B's clear. That's cute. Well, here they are walking through lower.
Incredible.
Looking to wrap him. Do they just commit back into the B play? I really think they do, yeah. They're saying, mate, we... Masuta. Oh, it's funny. They're creeping in through the apartments into a site that is clear, that is awaiting them. The plant is free, then they've just got to follow through on the round. Zywoo's going to hear all this commotion.
This room.
Peeking out. They know he's on the short side. That's something to go off of now, but it gets super weird because Shalfie's still up in Palace. This one's been spotted. Masuta has seen him, but he's just keeping him here, away from the objective, away from winning the round. Masuta cannot wait for this fight forever. And with so much time already ticked off the clock, this should be ForZe winning the pistol in this second half.
I just love the routing, right? They don't try and box him in by sending like Norway back top mid and go T-apps and trap him. They just go, no, he's going to get misinformation. He thinks he's cleared out B. We'll just follow him. If we don't find him in B apartments, then the site is clear and it's a free plant. And like you said, Shalfie just wasting time. Just living is enough in that position. Sometimes not dying is more important than killing. You just know that Vitality have eyes in the back of their head and they're wasting their vision on a dead round. 7 for ForZe now. And that can close this gap very quick. Although Vitality have really gone for it. Double FAMAS, a Scout, and an MP9. You rarely see double FAMAS round 2. That's like an outsider's buy if you know James saves after the drop it. But 2? Pretty good.
Oh my God!
No! No! No way!
That's not how that's meant to go down. Apex. He wasn't even fully scoped in. That was just hitting the shoot button fast as he can. Masuta gonna drop the bomb. Shalfie runs in with it first. Jerry might be up the short side, but it's into this stack, into the FAMASes, and the French guns put up a French round. Vitality in with 10.
Wow. Oh my God, I have nothing for you there. B stack, perfect read, smoke headshot. How did he hit it? He wasn't even scoped. It barely looked like it. And of course, Zywoo multi-kills on bench with a FAMAS. the only #2 in the world can make that gun look good. Sheesh. And you know how I said how this gap was probably going to close?
Yeah.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, it doesn't feel like that, does it? They're back in with this top mid aggression on the side of Vitality. And even though Magis will take one to the dome, if you think that running him down in middle is a viable prospect, I've got news for you. There is a triple stack right now for Vitality. Crossfires upon crossfires over here in mid. ZywOo can make contact first, and then he's got immediate support from Dupree. There's only one out of it. And Magis doesn't want to go swinging back in. Not with everyone already dead. It's too late. He can't play the trade game there. He will at least get the info. They haven't followed through on the mid play. They haven't kept up this aggression. But it does get a little bit weird now. That was exactly what Vitality wanted. They wanted the mid fights. But the individuals step up for ForZe. And now they lean back here towards B.
Yeah, Masuza's has just been so solid this series, though. I don't know if they're going to be able to trade this kill. He might just have all three. The first two are going to be dripped in together. The last one's going to be a little late. They try and cross. They don't clear him. Masuta anymore. He's just buying seconds, valuable time for his team. That's a beautiful D. They will still continue to put on kills, put on a show for ForZe in this round, but Magis can't go. Apex is on the big flank. Right now, there's no kit. There's one dropped on Masuta's body at the bench. But Magisk knows they're at least trapped deep in the bomb site, close to the smoke. Apps was being held, but for how long? Apex's timing is of paramount importance. There's the peak. Apex jumps out. Magisk catches Kenzie close kitchen, and he's gone through the smoke. He swapped sides of the site. It's default. And like I said, they need to grab this kit. Oh, they've spotted him crossing back, but he still drops Magisk. Apex grabs it, taps it, fakes it. No, we won't fall for it. And that is the round for ForZe. A force right back. How do you like your own medicine, Vitality?
Oh, you could see the disappointment, man. The disappointment setting in on Apex's face for that one. Stolen out right from under their noses. I think it's also important that Novi's the guy, to step up and try to fill the void.
Yeah, very quiet.
Because, thinking about Dust 2, everyone else had this recovery story. Everyone else kind of built back into that second map, and he was very much the exception. But come the third, everyone can forget about your pitfalls, your downfalls in map 2 if you go on to turn it around and win the series. And that's what he's hoping to do now. Attack pause for ForZe. I like it. They do this a lot as well. They'll win a round, but they take a moment to calm down. I almost wonder if that's like Jerry understanding the kind of inexperience with a few players in this roster, knowing that after a clutch like that, after a moment like that, your heart is going to be racing. Your adrenaline is pumping. Nothing is, your thoughts aren't flowing clearly. And so he just gives them that moment afterwards to chill out, return to normality.
It goes both ways. There's definitely a human element, right? In you just trying to catch your breath in these moments. Like anyone who's ever been in a clutch CS knows what that feels like. When you're done, win or lose, your heart is racing. But also your opponents have to sit and stew in that round, knowing they just lost to full deagles with almost nothing else. And that doesn't feel good either for a team like Vitality. But hey, they won it. ForZe won it. Anyone can win it. And this buy is no exception. No one's looking at ladder. They don't flash peek it. Jerry does check above. 2-3 gets one. Almost doubles. Zorti almost doesn't clear above the ladder. Was looking very deep, but a 4-on-4. Shalfie on ramp. Magisk waiting patiently. And the crouch saves his life. If he was stood up, rather, Magisk probably headshots him. There's a time and a place for the control key. And the key is control. Back towards A. Kenzie's deep in already, and Apex somehow finds him. ZywOo's even picked one out of CT spawn as well, making a lot of noise, and someone's coming to join Zorti.
This is super awkward. Oh, that's so important. That's opened up a route back into the round, and Zorti's now wrapped Apex in the window. Beautiful interplay between these two over in mid. Right as the trade was attempted, that's when Zorti strikes. So now it is just ZywOo with this scout. He might have got one with it so far, but he needs so much more. Zorti is offering up a pick here, but that gun drop, that's heard. Now they know. And ZywOo looking like he wants to make a swift exit from this 1v2 attempt.
Did Chad lend ForZe his AK? Look at that. Full Vox on the gold arabesque. That's a pretty skin, Harry. But yeah, other than that, ForZe keep it going. They don't get forced back on by an AK and a couple of rifles around it. That was a pretty decent buy for Vitality, all things considered, with the save. So you know how I said this game was going to close up? Yeah, I did mean it after all.
Yeah, right. You looked into the crystal ball. You couldn't quite make out, your tarot cards. You couldn't quite get the reading on it originally. But now it's all making sense. Now it's all coming clear. Yeah, you got this hero AK, but that's about the extent of it. It's another tack pause for ForZe. They want to keep this little streak going as long as they can. And with only really one thing to worry about in this round coming up, you're hoping this is where they can tie this game up.
That one thing? ZywOo. As always. But yeah, a little more dangerous with that saved rifle. Not a lot behind it you would expect for Vitality. They've got enough of a lead that they can just concede a round and still be fine and dandy. They're also on the favoured side right now. But ForZe definitely look comfortable on Mirage. There's no doubt. We already talked about the sheer number of maps and years that these players, and especially Jerry, have led on this map, and the experience, and something that, Vitality's recent results have been good, but they are lacking the depth, at least on a couple of these players. So you got to hope they hold strong. Oh dear, not pretty.
He had to fall into the molly.
Yeah.
Now the AK is super low. Now we're the only armored player, but still he'll take this 5-on-4 early. Moving in, P250 of Apex going to get one. You're not meant to win this.
Hello?
They're doing a hell of a lot. Apex is P250, tears through 2. Oh, hang on a moment. USP even landing a dink out of Magis. This is a borderline full eco. The AK hasn't even played into the round yet. Dupree's been entrusted with it. Kenzie's creeping up in the site, but a double swing available in CT. Even though you get the first, got to be ready for the second. Masuta brought down low.
Okay.
Dead after a bit of damage. It's Dupree's wrap round that's being entrusted right now. ZywOo's down here in com, but he's nothing more than a noise maker, trying to draw the attention away from Dupree. That solid gold AK needs to offer up some solid gold kills in through the palace. The king of Dupree. Next in line to the Danish throne as he emerges round the corner looking for this kill at CT. He's cut down. The gold's removed. It's ForZe running off to the caves with it. 10-10.
2-on-5 for Kenzie and Norway to get that round back under wraps. That was USPs, P250s. The AK, as you said, never even played in. I don't know how Vitality even made that almost a round, but it won't happen. ForZe still keep it under thumb. And that matters so much, right? Like a 10-10 getting eco'd, that's going to set Vitality off. They have a huge bank if they win it. They get an AWP into their next gun round. Denied for now means ForZe only have to fight these rifles. And where are they? Of course they're in middle. Magiska's been pushing it all damn day. He's been flashed though. Oh, they cross. Good shots for Magisk. 2 and the third. That's clean. Dupree's there to help out. And these two own middle right now. Norway can get his B pick, but he cannot get the round.
Oh. Okay. Apex walks into his demise. Kind of funny, because that was how Apex was getting away with a lot of these kills over on Dust, would just be, waiting in these off angles for someone to creep in. Norvi deals one back his way, but to go on and win the clutch, to go on and win the 1v3, that should never happen. They've got the bomb in middle. They're all ready to respond to it. Everyone's in a spot where they can trade this, even if they lose this first man.
Yeah, it's super safe. It's so safe that because Norway has to clear all these angles, even if he gets the bomb, there's just no time to make a play happen. They can just play for the denial. So with peeks, and there's the info. Dupree can help out. Oh, Norway makes noise. The ladder! And Dupree, luckily enough, converts that round for Vitality. There was a way for just for damage alone to get weird. But it's denied, and the two Danes find 5 kills in that round for Vitality. Vitality 3 from Magisk, 2 from Dupree. So back on the board and back on the buy. ForZe not quite as well endowed in the bank account.
Yeah, I think it's quite reassuring as well for Vitality that they're able to make that double mid setup that they've ran a lot with Dupree and Magisk work so flawlessly, right? Because it's been a bit, we'll call it a mixed bag of results thus far.
That's
over in middle.
It's worked.
Quite often they've got the opener, but the trades have just turned against them horrifically, and it's ended up feeling like a bit of a problem at times. That time it all comes together. You see how it was meant to look, and that's how they find the lead. Now there is an aggressive purchase back in from ForZe, right? They had guys like Jerry kind of around the pretty low money. I think he had 1,600 coming into this, so throwing the investment in, getting an AK for Kenzie, Deagles on the others, Tech 9s here and there, bit of utility to accompany you into the round. Still going to be hard-pressed to make this one work, and it might be a B-lean early on.
Yeah, this is kind of a must-do buy for ForZe because their money was so bad they wanted to level it out, but it really puts Vitality in such a good position if they convert against an eco. ForZe have won Deagles before, but it's certainly shouldn't happen again. And what's most shocking about this to me is Vitality haven't even been hard carried by ZywOo. It's not been the Mizuta show, just winning retakes or anything. Firstly, Apex is continuing his dust performance, but also the Danes are the ones winning a lot of rounds for Vitality right now. Dupree with a clutch at the end of the half. The mid setup, like you said, finally working for these two. These are the guys that have been the stars of the show. ZywOo's barely had his CT AWP, right? And that's still to come. All these things are good for Vitality, but I think it's important to just see how well they're doing despite it not being the ZywOo show. It's not being the AWP and CT Spawn just carry and kill 4 around, which so often has been the ZywOo show on this map.
Well, this is a chance for ZywOo to put on a show, right? He's under Palace, and he's about to have just a flood of ForZe players come his way. Gonna vanquish the flood here. The Master Chief of Vitality under the Palace, but will get dealt with. Doesn't accomplish anything. It's Magis doing it all. 4 from the spawn, on for the ace. Can't quite get it. And it's given Zorti a chance at the 1v2. Now there's a nade on Dupree. That could just seal his fate, but it goes on triple. Not for default. Out from behind the box. Always seen one. Looking at the stairs. Swinging out as the molly rains in over the top.
Missed as well. The worst part is he thinks it's landing, so that's why he swings. If it does land, he dies. But it doesn't. He could have lived a few more seconds on that box and picked players off. But yeah, 2 missed nades, and it actually does Vitality favors in that round. 12-10, and yeah, poor ZywOo just turning from flashes. They fall on him. Magis steals 2 kills away. ZywOo gets cleared, and Magis goes on to kill 4 from spawn. That's what I mean. It's just been a Dane off right now. Turning ForZe into pastries.
Well, they might be pastries, but they got no dough. Hugo, mate, they're all out of money in this one. So it is that eco that you prophesized. This is really where Vitality are looking to build into the lead and run away with the game. Kenzie gets a freebie. Dupree, little complacent on the mid aggro, doesn't clear the angle fully. Insight's now going to get tested, running down Masuta and Apex, but they've got each other's backs. Masuta's able to drop the last man out of the apartments, and Kenzie will be arriving here, but it's a little too far gone, and there's Masuta to close it.
No longer the Danish pastries, it's the croissant served in the continental breakfast here for Vitality. Nice B-hold as well. Both sites on lock at the moment, and when you add in on gun rounds, they're playing double, triple middle to start. Vitality are not leaving a stone unturned. They are keeping ForZe out of this game, and they are trying to go 3-0 straight to the Legends stage. Join some of the best teams in the world right now. And Vitality absolutely in that list as well. Waiting next stage. Heroic, Big, FaZe, Na'Vi, Cloud9, Copenhagen Flames, Nip, Furia, and maybe Vitality.
Yeah, you see them feeling a lot more confident right now. Running that double lower push on Dupree and Magis, just sending around your little Danish death squad. Sees the man jumping back in CT. He's spotted ZywOo, not able to find that opener, and instead nades rain in, doing damage. This A play starting to take fruition for ForZe. They've smoked off Con. They're moving over the stairs, but are they ready? For ZywOo was quiet in the last A take. This time he's roaring to life with a third. Out from behind triple. He lives up to the name and puts 14 on the board for the Vitality squad. Apex is getting hyped. He's getting loud. Vitality can feel this one. They can feel that legend spot. And they want it more than ever.
Yeah, 4 in a row now for Vitality, and they're just feeling fantastic, right? No longer the woes of these eco wins, these lost clutches. It's all coming together. It's all happening, and ForZe have had to use their final tactical timeout, their final chance to run through 3-0. And no matter what happens here, ForZe deserve a lot of credit for even making it this far. Yes, their draws may have been easier than some of the others, thanks to their seed, but they took Vitality to the limit, man. They pulled a nice attempt at a comeback on Dust. They had an incredible nuke that is definitely something other teams need to avoid. But they may have run out of steam here on Mirage, going very cold right near the end. Playing for overtime right now are ForZe. Vitality gifted a 15th round off the back of Deco.
Yeah, it's going to take like a huge individual effort to build back into this one. And you just question it. Do ForZe have the tenure? Do they have the experience there? Going to take a miracle to build back into this. Nice. That's certainly not a bad start out of Norvi. Man down early. Apex removed, and he's been one of the big-time players for Vitality throughout this series. Norvi's not content with just the one. He wants to make it even sweeter. ZywOo in the window. Doesn't want to overextend, doesn't want to get caught fighting that. Shalfie just heard the drop. Oh, out with the swing. He's tagged, and that's going to spook him away from the Palace position. Smoke in at top con. Now, it looked like they were building into the A play. They want to try and, push around this smoke, take stairs, and flood the A site from different angles of elevation. There's only 2 players here right now for Vitality. ZywOo's one of them with the AWP. He's missed a shot. Jerry goes sprinting in. Takes all that space on the back of the AWP bullet, just whizzing over the top of him. And Shalfie's Deagle's found another. 15's not guaranteed for Vitality. It's not locked in, and it's stripped away. ForZe up onto 11 with the force buy.
They're coming through. ZywOo ain't saving today, buddy. 1v5, they're right behind you. They're going B apartments. There is no red carpet. There is no escape pod. ZywOo's got to fight for survival in a wave-based attack game. Apps first, and Norway closes. He has been the quietest guy across this entire series, and he's come alive on Mirage, man. Top of his team, winning clutches, winning decos, most importantly. Both the rounds that he's won pretty much single-handedly have been off the back of his deagle. Look at this shot to start. Apex dropping under, Jerry the acrobat, and Norvi carries on with that picked-up gun to close out 2 and deny the AWP save. You're right, this isn't done. Vitality, they got to work for every round. Suddenly their money's drawn into question.
Dude, this is kind of an awkward spot. Like, if ForZe were going to launch a comeback, they've got all the prerequisites, right? They've got Vitality on the edge of their seat. They've got them believing, if we can just get that 1 or 2 rounds we need to get this one over the line. And that hunger comes at a cost.
Warp located. Thank you to that one flashbang for Sortie. It's not much of a surprise that it's back on ticket, but at least it's confirmed. That's going to help ForZe lean into this B execute. Window smoke comes in from the spawn. Shalfie again lurking Palace. Needs to try and find impact earlier in the round. Can't afford to be a backstab in this one. If his team do fall, he'll be left looking alone, looking lost. But they actually want to split A. They're not going for the B attack. Shalfie's picked Apex out of sandwich again. Apex dead first for Vitality, and ForZe are poised for this A attack.
Yeah, dude, I mean, this is going to be really sour. Like, he's given us such an incredible series, but nice. First man dead both times around. This time, Vitality. I'm hoping they can pick that up. They can do right by Apex and finish what he looked to start. Jerry.
They go B.
Going to deal with Dupree. Now they're rerouting. They've completely changed the game plan on the fly. Based on Shalfie's death, they're leaning into this B site. Masuta, it's all on this guy. Drops the bomb. AWP only tags him. It's a swing, but it's a miss. Nailed the second time around. Norvi bests him in the head-to-head. ZywOo's here and knocked off the angle by that AWP. Magisk 1 versus 3, and so far removed that saving might be the best and only option available to him here. He's still moving into the ladder room, but it might just be to grab this kit. Kit now retrieved. He looks like he's interested.
He's trying to find the gun, but it got taken. Robbed. Oh, has he got something? Orb, yeah, nice. Gets away with something, but yeah, Norvi's just had a serious late activation in this series, and he continues to just brute force his way in. Masuta at 20 seconds, he drops the bomb, he can win that round right there. Norvi gets dinked, still converts. And also, I love how ForZe don't rush. With 15 on the clock, they focus on killing the rotates. If they were knife out, crossing to the site with a bomb, ZywOo probably wins the entire round there, but Zorti posts up, waits for the kill to come, and then takes the package in. Good priorities in place for ForZe. They fight on. And my God, you can feel this game getting tense right now. For ForZe, who shouldn't even be here, now are tasked with a mini comeback right at the end of this best of 3 to try and knock down Vitality. But a hero orb. Ooh, you never know.
They can do things. ZywOo's leaning B with it. ForZe have taken this mid control in their stride, knowing that there isn't too much to go up against in this round. They've grabbed all this control. Now, normally, ZywOo's been spotted over towards CT, right? That has been a pretty reoccurring theme, that he's been this A-leaning player, whether he has rifles, the AWP. Normally, they found him somewhere inside of that A-bomb site. The fact he's at B could come as a bit of a surprise, but right now, ForZe still working. Oh, Apex! He might have been the first man to fall in the last couple of rounds, but there, he delivers with the deagle. Oh my goodness. Wow. That flick, those shots, that might have set Vitality up. It spurred on the rest of the gang. And all the Deagles are finding something now into the B play, into the belly of the beast. ZywOo here with the AWP, waiting, raring to go, spurred on by the success of the other Frenchman. He's keen to join them, dropping the bomb and finishing it with a second. 15 for Vitality. And Apex can't believe it, that's how the round starts.
It's just shocking. As the smoke is bouncing, it's about to bloom, it's about to block Apex out of the round, and he does this. The adjustment was instantaneous. Couldn't have fired faster. And of course, it's the AWP to close. No better position for Vitality to be in. Eco wins have been frequent in this third map. Almost non-apparent, almost non-existent in the last 2, but Mirage are where the Deagles do it best.
That is ludicrous, man. That is crazy. Like, even in slow motion, it still looks fast.
I couldn't have hit that in slow motion.
Just miraculous. And the fact that, you know, he had been the problem in the 2 rounds prior to that, getting caught pushing lower versus the Deagles, falling early on in the follow-up round. But then, when it really matters, Apex, a diamond, crafted under the pressure of a game that felt like it was slipping away.
Yeah.
Well, now Vitality are the ones stood on the finish line. They've just got to cross it. ForZe, they've put so much into this series. They've laid it all out there to try and secure Legends 3-0.
No.
Do they have anything left in the tank? Was it all in vain?
And not the angle he was expecting. Through the legs. Magisk finds that first kill. Finally, Vitality not a man down yet again, and they will ride this one out. 4 more frags, 4 more moments. Apex, oh, he hasn't been seen. That con smoke is so nice to the CTs on top of it. And always blind. A re-smoke comes through, Apex gets out. No rush, no hurry. 5 on 4, let the kills come to you. They certainly could, but Norway delivers another. The guy to save ForZe in so many of these situations. B is looking as free as it can be right now. It's only Masuta here. Apex has got the pressure on him right now. He's going to rotate out of window, avoid those nades. Masuta back at the site, alone right now. Flash is being dodged, crouching down, catching one with the bomb, but the spray will not convert.
Apex is here. Apex is in position over at the bench. They don't know about him. He's a nasty surprise. Apex trying to land the spray transfer, getting out, gets the reload off, and he's still being a nuisance. Just slowing it down for a moment. Gives time for ZywOo to get into position. Magisk is moving up the short side. Oh, it's a 1v2 now. Norvi, we've said his name so much here on Mirage. He's given us so much, but he's got to do even more in this clutch. Spammed out. ZywOo's there to close, and Vitality They're going to the Legend stage. They rock on up here to Mirage. They might have faced some difficulties, but with Apex leading the way, they follow through with a win over ForZe.
With every roster, we always say they need time, and with time, Vitality have put together quite a show, quite a feat. A 3-0 and a 3-map winning streak on Mirage, a map we never really expected to see these Danes shine on exactly like they have. That was an incredible game from absolutely everyone. Apex starting so slow, but his recovery across Dust and Mirage were absolutely